Rangers against Hibernian, full live commentary, Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with Scott Allen, Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Welcome to Ibrox, capacity Ibrox for the first time this season with the Copeland Road stand fully open and pretty much full to the rafters, the entire stadium this afternoon for the final Premiership match of the weekend as Rangers try to narrow that gap the guys were mentioning on Celtic and Aberdeen, and Hibs look for a first win here since December 2018. And they got their first league win of the season last time out against St Johnstone. The Rangers have showed gradual improvement in recent weeks and will, you imagine, take great confidence from Thursday's win in Malmo. Hibs in a change kit of a white top, green shorts and white socks, and just looking at the way they're lining up pre-kick-off does look like Cadden is going to play in advanced role ahead of Lewis Miller on that right flank, as we guessed they might. And Rangers in their traditional home kit, blue top, white shorts, black and red socks, ready to take centre. We'll go from right to left at the start of the game as Lawrence and Egerman look like they're going to take an old-style kick-off between the two of them. Well, the two of them are standing in the centre circle, but Lawrence goes back the way as we do get underway, and they look to try and build on that good European victory, one that stands them in really good stead, you imagine, for the rest of that campaign. But they must switch their attention and focus to domestic matters. They simply cannot afford to allow that 8-point gap to remain by the end of this afternoon's play. It's Rangers in possession at the start of the game, and it's Jefty who missed out in midweek as a result of that rather harsh red card against Dinamo Kyiv. McCausland, who starts on the left-hand side, made a real good impact. Not just the goal when he came on against Malmo, but generally impressive as Suter now gets it out to Tavernier, right-hand side. Just knocks it back neatly for Czerny. Hibs yet to touch the ball in the opening minute here at Ibrox as Rangers stroke it about at the back. It's Proper who's beginning to look a bit more comfortable in that back line, albeit still playing on the left-hand side of the central pairing, which is not probably ideal for him, but he and Suter both played well out in Sweden. Here's Tavernier right-hand side, midway inside the Hibs half. Hoylett trying to get close to him, and his first start for the visitors. Proper back out to the left-hand side to the Brazilian Jefty, up against Cadden here. Inside it comes to McCausland, who's forced back the way by Kwon, who'll be looking to do his parent club a favour by ensuring that gap does remain at 8. Tavernier tries to play it forward, Obita in the way, and Hibs at last do get on the ball. It's Kuharevich left-hand side up against Suter. It'll be a good battle, you would imagine, between those two, but Suter comes out on top in that first head-to-head between those pair. Jefty turns it back to Butland. Kuharevich started well in his second spell at Hibernian, Scott.
Yeah, he's a different option. He can hold the ball up. He's been a goal threat. He's the great goal he scored in the cup against Celtic from a set piece. So he...
Yeah, Czerny just picking up on the edge of the box as Jefty got the pass off to him. His loose play, Raskan picks up Egerman, tries to thread it back to him. Hibs stand firm and get it clear, and here's Hoylett. First opportunity for him to show what he can do on the left-hand side. Good challenge by Barron to knock it out of play, and Nick Walsh is just going to have a word there with Chris Cadden, who did have a good old tug of the jersey of Jefty, and he was pretty fortunate to get away with it. Play was allowed to continue.
Yeah, I just wondered whether or not Nick Walsh would show the yellow card to Cadden once the ball went out of play, but he's let him off with it early in the game. But Rangers just keeping the ball for fun in the early part of this match. David
Gray out the edge of his technical area, just having a word with Chris Cadden. I imagine telling him to just kind of wise up a little bit, because that would have been a very cheap early yellow as Ekpiteta gets it to Lewis Miller in this near side, turns away from McCausland, in comes Lawrence, a 50-50 there, breaks the way of Czerny, and now Raskan, the Belgian. He's not had a lot of game time, certainly very few starts under his compatriot Philippe Clement since he came in, but in from the start this afternoon with Diamonde injured.
Yeah, I thought Diamonde did really well over in Malmo in the game. A bit of a blow to Rangers if he's not available for Thursday night's game against Lyon, but good opportunity for Raskin. When he first joined the club, I thought he looked really good, but as you rightly point out, his minutes have been very much limited this season.
Yeah, even Dujon Sterling's been preferred to him in the centre of the park of late, or Kieran Dowell for that matter. Both of them on the bench today as Raskin gets a chance, and he's got undoubted talent as he has shown in his time at Rangers so far, but maybe yet to convince Philippe Clement. But we'll see what happens this afternoon. Here he is in possession, taking it off Suter, right hand side, plays it forward, low ball's cut out by O'Hara, breaks for Czerny, back the way to Barron. As Tomo says, Rangers enjoying all the possession so far as Jefty tries to link with Igman, the Moroccan striker, on his first start for the club. The Dessers rested. That's a slack pass from Jefty out of play, trying to play it back to Proper, and it gives Hibs a throw in. 4 minutes in, no goals. Hibs just trying to play their way into the game. How difficult is it for a visiting side here, Scott, when you know the home side are enjoying most of the possession to just gradually edge their way into it?
Yeah, I think you know that the home team in terms of Rangers will try and control the ball early on in the game. You need to be disciplined, and to be fair to Hibs, they have been. The distances between the defence and midfield look really good. Rangers not really been able to get in behind them as such, and that's where you'd maybe see they've learned from the previous games against Celtic. They're a lot more disciplined in their shape, and that allows them to frustrate Rangers in terms of creating chances, but allow them to get a foothold in the game and start to edge up the pitch as a team.
Bursic has it just outside his own penalty area, just nudges it to his right for Marvin Ekpiteta. His first visit to Ibrox in that newly formed central defensive pairing with Warren O'Hara in front of Bursic. A number of these Hibs players playing at Ibrox for the first time. Bursic goes a bit longer. Miller wins the aerial battle with Jefty. Cadden will chase it, and he's kept it in well. Advanced area, right hand side, plays it in. Butlin with a glove to it. It'll come to Hoylett though, and he can't keep the shot down, but the first chance falls Hibernian's way. It's over the top, and it's Rangers 0, Hibs 0.
It's a fantastic ball in from Cadden. Miller does really well to win the flick on. Cadden down the right hand side, puts a deep cross in. Butlin flapping at it a wee bit, gets a finger to it, falls to Hoylett, and it was an awkward height, wasn't it, Scotty, for him to be able to get it on target. Probably could have done better, or should have done better, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I would have maybe went side foot myself on the left, so I don't know where that would have went, but I think in terms of looking at Hibs from that point of view, that's the benefit of having Cadden, who's got pace. Miller wins a flick on, and Cadden can go, and he gives the delivery as well. But Hibs will be pleased with the start, like we touched on a minute ago. Defensively they look very disciplined, and they've got that threat with the pace, and that's what Kuharevic, Tom will tell you, he's been a striker who's been a focal point.
Ball teased into the Hibs area. Tavernier picks up possession 12 yards from goal. Back to Lawrence. He goes for goal, but drags his shot well wide, albeit with the aid of the deflection, and Rangers will have the first corner kick of the match. Lawrence not probably getting hold of that. I don't think it was going to go on target.
No, I didn't look it, but Ekpiteta's got to do so much better with a headed clearance. Really poor.
7 minutes played, and still goalless as Tavernier comes across to the left hand side to take the corner. Czerny is close to him with a short option as Hoylett has come across, but it's a 2-on-1 if they choose to go short. Tavernier makes the signal as if he's going to pop it into the area, then does go short, gets it back from Czerny, different angle, flicked on by Barron, and just onto the roof of the net. That wasn't far away. Actually McCausland it was who got the flick on inside the penalty area, and it was a difficult one for the keeper to judge, just going over the top.
Yeah, I mean, it was the short corner, as you rightly mentioned. Tavernier whipped it into a decent area. McCausland just for the flick on. I don't think it was ever really going to test Bursic in the Hibernian goal, but it's the first sight of goal for Rangers. Just a foot or so over the bar.
Miller unable to keep the clearance in play, and Rangers have it. Quickly taken throw in, and Barron plays it back to Proper. Square for Suter, who started every game this season, and looking more like the John Suter we know in terms of the quality he can provide. Oil under pressure, he's given it away to Czerny deep in Hibs territory. Czerny weaves one way then the other, comes into the middle, and Igaman was close to getting on the end of that, but I think it came off a Hibs player inside the 6-yard box and over the top. But great play from Czerny, and a vicious ball in, Scott Allen.
Yeah, he's twisted them inside out there. It all starts from Hoylett a bit loose in possession, and that when you do turn over the ball like that in your own half, Rangers do have players who can punish you. It's a great effort. Unfortunately for Rangers, it didn't end up in the net, but Hibs been a wee bit slack in possession now the last couple of minutes. Yeah,
Ekpiteta did not know what was going on when that ball hit him off the thigh. He was lucky that it rebounded over the bar, but another corner to Rangers.
Yeah, Tavernier this time does swing it into the 6-yard box. High in the air from Ekpiteta. Proper's in there, but he's beaten in the jump, and Hibs should be able to get it properly clear now as Campbell helps it forward. Hoylett shows good strength against Czerny. Holds it up, but he can't, and he's actually been fouled in there, and Hibs up the free kick.
Showed great strength there, Hoylett. Buys the foul, and that's what Hibs need to do when they can. Get fouls, get a foot in the game, take the pressure off. I think back on what I was touched about Kujarevic and being a focal point. And
Obita left hand side. That's not a bad ball in, just too close to the keeper in the end, but he has got good delivery. Obita, when he can get forward, as he likes to do. Immediately forward there from Butland. The loose ball's picked up by Raskan, driving forward, can't find a teammate though. Kwon just gets it to his left to Obita, just inside his own half. Back now with O'Hara, and now Ekpiteta midway inside the Hibs half, out to the right hand side for Miller, closed down by McCausland. Slack play from Miller. McCausland wanted to take the quick throw in, but just couldn't get hold of the ball, and Hibs will be able to regroup, but that kind of slackness isn't going to do Hibs any favour.
Nah, there's been a couple in the game so far, but I think, that looked a bad one.
That's a kind of wrap-around challenge that from Kwon, isn't it, on Jefty, and it will be a free kick, and just a little word in the ear for the Korean, and free kick goes Rangers' way, 10 yards inside the Hibs half, left of centre, played back the way to Proper by Barron. Suter now out to the right hand side. He's looking for Czerny. It was a poor ball and is well anticipated by Obita, who will begin the Hibs counter. Suter goes across to try and close him down. Ball played forward to Kujarevic. Proper commits himself in the diving sliding challenge and knocks it behind, and it will be a Hibs corner. And that was, having praised Suter early on, it was a really poor ball and put Rangers under pressure.
Yeah, it is, but that's the threat that Hibs pose because of the pace that they've brought into the team today. They can get at your back four and put you under real pressure. Now these set pieces, especially away at Ibrox, they can be the difference in terms of getting a lead in the game.
Cross goes Junior Hoylett, having made a really positive impact actually at Aberdeen when he came in on loan last season and picked up by Hibs in a free transfer last month. Here he goes, left hand side, right footed, drives it in near post. Tavernier as far as Kwon. Kwon blocked by Suter. Brilliant block, you have to say, as he just put his body on the line. Kwon looked to have got a hold of that really nicely. Comes out to Cadden on the right hand side, closed down by Lawrence. Hibs trying to get the ball back in. Lawrence shows good strength. Cadden still beavering away, and he's won it back well, and he can't keep it in play, and it's out for a Rangers throw deep in their own territory. But Kwon going back to that volley at the edge of the box.
What a block it is, Al. I mean, it's an unbelievable block from John Suter. The ball falls to Kwon, 18 yards out. He catches it really, really well. But Suter diving at his feet, really good block, and then a lovely wee battle between Lawrence and Cadden down the right hand side there. Neither was giving it up.
It looked like that was going to trouble Jack Butland had it got through the Kwon volley, Scott.
Yeah, just too many bodies, but he catches it really well, and rightly so, as Tom will touch on. It's a fantastic block from John Suter. Also a real positive performance on Thursday night. He looks, for me, I've always been a fan of him, great on the ball, showing real leadership skills there.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if now that he is that kind of dominant figure in the Rangers backline is helping him as well.
It will be. He's definitely grown into the role. I've been very impressed with him. Rangers fans not happy at Nick Walsh either, the amount of time it's taken to over this free kick.
Yeah, Hibs have a free kick just inside Rangers half, and a bit of dubiety about who was going to take it, and the referee just having a word there with O'Hara, who's initially over it, and Philippe Clement making his views known to the fourth official. Here is Hoylett though to flight it towards the far post. Ekpiteta can't make anything of it, and there's a free kick being given just to Rangers at the edge of their own penalty area. We've played 13 minutes, and the best chance of the game did fall to Junior Hoylett, and Kwon's also had a shot blocked. Rangers yet to trouble the Hibs goal to any great effect, and it's still goalless after those 13 minutes in the final game of the weekend, as Proper just almost got the ball caught between his feet, turns away from Kuharevich, eventually gets to Jefty, who plays it back to Jack Butland. Now it's Suter at the edge of his own penalty area, into Barron, who always likes to come short and offer himself. Suter gets it out to Tavernier now, back with Suter, 20 yards inside his own half, back into Barron, who plays it square to Proper, who can come forward if he chooses, but he goes back to Barron. And now Suter just inside his own half. Rangers staying patient. Proper once more. Over the halfway line he comes now, the Dutchman. Out to the left-hand side for Jefty. Jefty with one way then the other up against Cadden. Can't get past him in the end, but it does break from McCausland left-hand side out the goal line. Tries to get the cross in, comes off Cadden, and it will be another Rangers corner from this left-hand side. 14 in, Rangers nil, Hibs nil.
Hibs are defended well. Jefty there trying to jink between 2-3 players. It falls for the McCausland, who goes down the line looking to put it in his left foot, blocked by Hibs well again, but another corner for Rangers. Tavernier out in this left-hand side.
Yeah, he's played one short, he's swung one in. Let's see what he does on the third occasion. Czerny is there as a short option with Hoylett out to Markham. Near post ball comes in, it's well defended by Kuharevich. Gets it well clear. Czerny picks up, knocks it back to Barron on the halfway line. Raskan's available alongside of him. Here is the Belgian, plays it back to Conor Barron, and he'll play it out to the left-hand side to Jefty. Quarter of an hour in, no goals at Ibrox. The full stadium once more. And Suter plays it out to the right-hand side to Raskan. Raskan about 10 yards inside the Hibs half. Forward it goes to Czerny. Czerny picks up, advances towards the penalty area, plays it in with the outside of his boot, but he got that all wrong, skewed it the wrong way, and it's behind for a goal kick, and it remains goalless.
Yeah, not his best cross from Czerny. You can see what he was trying outside of the foot. Got it all wrong, but I feel also there's a wee bit of lack of tempo from Rangers starting to emerge, which will not be pleasing for Philippe Clement down below us. Everything's a wee bit pedestrian, a wee bit slow in the build-up.
Yeah, I think in terms from a Hibs view, between the back four and the midfield, they're defending that their own third very well. Rangers not been able to find the wee cute passes inside to maybe fill someone about, so Rangers might need to work it wide and get back across quick to the other side and maybe create a bit of space to get in, because as of yet they haven't troubled the goalkeeper.
Here's Cadden right hand side after good play from Triantis. That takes a nick off Jefty, falls to Kwon inside the area, right hand side, tries to spin away, balls to Lewis Miller just trying to jink beyond his man, and Jefty in the way, but yeah, Rangers by no means having it all their own way in the opening stages here. Still goalless.
Just wouldn't fall for Miller, would it? He couldn't get it out his feet. Looked like it was going to be a really good opportunity. Again, Cadden causing problems down the right-hand side. It's going to be a Miller long throw. Yeah,
about 25 yards from the corner flag in the right-hand side. As Hibs look for the opening goal and try and find a first victory here since Scott Allen was part of a Hibs team that won in December 2018, and it comes to the area. It's Raskan who gets the header away, and McCausland picks up, tries to find Eagleman, but straight out of play. Eagleman's not had a look in as yet.
He's hardly touched the ball. That was really slack there from young McCausland.
Do you think Eagleman's got to go there though as soon as he sees the balls breaking with McCausland?
Go long, yeah, possibly. Still should have been a simple pass for McCausland to complete.
Triantis hooks it forward. It's a kind of aimless one note from the Australian, easy for Butland, and he just bowls it out underarm to Suter, who plays it forward. The edge of the centre circle is Raskan, now Tavernier back in field to Barron out to the left for Jefty. As Stephen was saying, you would imagine Philippe Clement are looking for a bit higher tempo from Rangers. Looked like McCausland was fouled there, but referee allows play to continue. Rangers still in possession. McCausland back on his feet and plays it to Suter just inside his own half, out to Czerny. Right hand side up against Hoylett here, back the way to Suter, closed down by Kuharevich, and then Raskan and Proper out to the left. Lawrence has also been quiet, but here he is coming down the left hand side, plays it to Jefty about 25 yards from the goal line, comes to Czerny at the edge of the box, tries to link with Lawrence. A clearance from Miller comes back to Jefty. Wasn't a great looking cross, but it does deflect off a Hibs player, and behind for yet another corner on this left hand side. Rangers mounting up the corner tally, but yet to really trouble Joseph Bursic in that Hibs goal. 0-0 after 18 as Tavernier and Czerny plot this latest corner from the left hand side. Nick Walsh wants Hoylett back a yard or two. And now Tavernier will swing it in, this time towards the back post. It's beyond proper. Lawrence will go and chase that, but Lewis Miller is there to get between him and the ball and just sees it out for a throw-in over on the far side. Disappointing again from Rangers from the set piece. 18.5 played, Rangers 0, Hibs 0.
Yeah, it was a poor delivery. He's trying to go back post. This previous one he'd gone near post and was cut out by the first man. That one too much on it. Kind of wasted opportunities for Rangers. They're struggling to create anything from open play, so these set piece situations are important, but not making the most of them.
Raskin out of play over on the far side from the initial throw-in from Abita, who will get another go at it midway now inside his own half. Left-hand side, 19 minutes on the clock. No goal score. You listen to Sports Sounds early on Sunday afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland, on Sounds on all of our platforms. Here's Proper out to left-hand side to Jefty, unsure as to which option to use. He goes back to Proper after being closed down by Cadden, who spent most of his early career playing in this kind of advanced right-hand side role, but much more used to seeing him as a full-back or wing-back these days. But as the guys have been saying, he has caused a few problems early on. Here's McCausland on the left flank for Rangers, coming back in field and back to the halfway line. Rangers would rather see him moving forward. I think Philippe Clement looking to make that point as he comes out to the edge of his technical area. Here's Czerny on the other side, plays it short to McCausland, who's going across to the right, back to Barron, and now with Suter just inside his own half, plays it square to Proper, on to Lawrence left hand side, just inside the Hibs half. Raskin back to Proper. Rangers seem plenty of the ball, moving it down the left now with Igman. Across comes Ekpiteta. Igman midway inside the Hibs half, tries to go through the legs of Miller, battling away, kept it in well there, Igman. Now he comes forward down the left hand side, checks back and plays it to McCausland. Now it's Jefty, about 30 yards from the goal line, advances and then fires it in. Ekpiteta clear. Igman tries to chest it down, but he can't bring it under control, and Cadden picks up and links with Campbell. Campbell asks a lot of Cadden there. He can't get there. Proper's there to turn it back to Butland, who plays it to Raskin, and square for Suter just outside his own area. Raskin once more picking up, and now it's Proper. Left hand side is McCausland. McCausland looks up and tries to play it forward to Lawrence. Lawrence brings it under control, challenged well by Ekpiteta. Miller picks up, can't get it beyond Jefty. Jefty powering forward now. Miller with a despairing challenge, can't make it. Jefty inside the area, cuts it back. Czerny's shot isn't a good one, it's well wide of goal on the far side. Should have connected better after good work from Jefty, but 21 in. It's Rangers 0, Hibs 0.
Yeah, it was Lewis Miller's mistake. He tried to recover from it. Jefty was away from him. Makes a desperate lunge. It really was dangerous, but Jefty rode the challenge, cuts it back to Czerny. Did not get anything on the shot at all. Dragged it wide of the goal, but Rangers kind of first real look at goal for about 15 minutes. Hibs are doing really well at kind of suffocating the middle area of the pitch, and Rangers are having to play backwards and sideways an awful lot of the time. The supporters starting to get a wee bit frustrated with it.
Ekpiteta and Igman, sorry Scott, Ekpiteta and Igman in a good physical battle here, just seen out of play. Hibs throwing. On you go, Scott.
Yeah, I think a couple of times Lewis Miller, when it's come to him, he's kind of waiting for something to happen. I think when you've got the threat of Cadden, you can just help into that channel area. It's not necessarily a long ball, but it gives Cadden something to chase and get Hibs out of the pressure that they've been facing with Rangers dominating the ball the last period in the game, and give them something to attack.
Jefty's taking a knock there up against Cadden as he on his side a throw in. He's going down in a bit of pain by the looks of it, the Brazilian left back, and going to need a bit of treatment. I wasn't really sure.
Hard to see what happened now. Yeah,
is it his ribs he's holding?
Yeah, maybe he's took an elbow or something in the ribs as he was trying to tackle Cadden, but still in a bit of pain. Maybe just winded. Should have been okay.
Philippe Clement having a word with Ross McCausland in these early stages. I mean, McCausland would clearly, he'd be delighted to be in the team, of course, but he'd probably rather be playing right hand side. He's more of a natural winger as opposed to a kind of inside forward, but he hasn't really been able to influence it on the left hand side so far.
No, not as much, but I think if you ask Ross McCausland, you're starting for Rangers at a packed Ibrox, on a Sunday afternoon. He wouldn't care if it was left or right. I think he's still got quality on both sides. I think it's just to go back on what Tomo touched on in terms of Rangers moving the ball backways and sideways. The first time they get a bit of joy was Tom Lawrence making the run from deep and stretching that Hibs back four, because up until then Hibs are just moving with the ball. There's nothing really hurting them as such. So I think if you're David Gray, you'd be delighted at how his team's defended, and also they've been a threat as well when they went forward.
Jefty ready to come back on when he gets the signal. It will be a Rangers throw in as McCausland has to go back to take it with Jefty off the park. Left hand side, about 20 yards inside his own half. Nice turn from Eagleman on the halfway line. Has to go back the way to Suter, but applauded from the home fans for his early efforts. Suter plays it square to Proper, still well inside his own half, out to the left hand side for Barron. Barron forward to McCausland. Nice interchange there with Jefty on the left. Now it's McCausland once more running it. Miller gets to the byline. Little tug of the jersey there from Miller, which was spotted by the fans, maybe not the referee. Did that go out of play? McCausland's done brilliantly to get past from Miller. Back to Czerny again. He doesn't get hold of the shot. It's blocked by Hoylett after terrific work from McCausland. I wasn't entirely sure the ball was still in play. That would have been checked had the ball ended up in the back of the net. Here's Jefty, swings it back in from the left hand side. Tavernier to try and attack it. Comes all the way through to Czerny, right hand side of the box. Up against Hoylett. Trying to tease him, but Hoylett is wise to his moves there. Czerny picks up and knocks it back to Lawrence. Lawrence is taken down there. No, he's not. The home fans on that far side were convinced, like me, that it was a foul, but referee saw nothing wrong. Hibs clear their lines up to Butland, and Rangers can start again. But good work there from McCausland on that left-hand side.
Brilliant skill, really good skill. Lewis Miller's not on a great afternoon so far, I would have said, but it was brilliant from young McCausland.
Here's Lawrence, little flick on for Eagleman at the edge of the box. Now it's Czerny, 20 yards from goal, right of centre, tries to get the shot away. It's comfortably blocked. Josh Campbell knocks it back to Cadden, who just content himself with getting the ball clear over the halfway line. Yeah, it's a couple of times the ball's fallen to Czerny in decent positions, and he's not connected with the efforts at all cleanly.
Hibs have the bodies in these central areas, though, so they do have guys who can get blocks or touches on the ball. So like I said, it's maybe just keep going with it, keep moving the ball. One will open up, because it'll be hard for Hibs to play with intensity in terms of defending for the whole game. Rangers just need to be patient, moving the ball side to side and find the gaps.
Here's Suter out to the right to Tavernier. Hoylett trying to get back at him. Tavernier struggling to keep it in play. Eventually Hoylett just gets a touch to take it out for a Rangers throw in about 30 yards from the corner flag right hand side. 26 almost played, 0-0 here at Ibrox. As Tavernier looks for options on that right hand side. Raskin goes in offer, so does Lawrence. Lawrence gets it, just knocks it back to Barron. Jefty's on this near side, but Barron goes back to Proper into the feet of Lawrence. Now Suter just inside the Hibs half, back once more to Proper, who plays it quickly to Barron. Barron will advance it on the left hand side to Jefty. McCausland makes the run beyond him. Jefty against Cadden, just leaves it to McCausland now on the left flank. Curls it in towards the back post, but it's a poor one from McCausland. An easy take for Joseph Bursic. 26 and a half played, Rangers 0, Hibs 0.
They've linked quite well, McCausland and Jefty down this left-hand side. On that occasion, a wee back heel from Jefty to McCausland. He swings it in with his right foot, but far too close to Bursic in the Hibernian goal.
Like Pateta over the halfway line up towards Kuharevich, tries to nod it down to a teammate. Raskin steps in, but onto it comes Triantis. He goes in powerfully. Now what is a card that's coming here? It's a yellow card for Nectar Triantis. He went in really strongly there on Robin Proper. Now he took plenty of the ball, but it was just the strength and the speed of the challenge. He was low with the challenge, you've got to say that, but it will be checked by VAR, because these days, I don't know, Tom.
It's the speed in which he went into the tackle. I wonder whether he slipped as he went into the challenge, but he wins the ball cleanly. I don't think it was high, so in my opinion, I think Nick Walsh has called it correctly with a yellow.
Yeah, I think for me, he does really well to win the second ball in the first place. I think it's just getting away from him, and you ask any football player, they can't pull out of that one. I think maybe though just the intensity would be the reason why he's got the yellow card there. Hibs are unhappy, because I think some of the players don't think it was bad as it looked from here. They were on the attack.
VAR happy with the decision of Nick Walsh to award just the yellow to Nectar Triantis. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Scott. that you're never going to expect, if you're a Hibs fan, a player, anyone associated with Hibs, you're not going to expect your player to pull out of such a challenge. And because he kept it low enough, cleanly won the ball. But it is nonetheless, just because of the speed of the challenge, I think a yellow card.
It's a sort of challenge 20 years ago wouldn't even be talked about, you know, but nowadays I think just it is the intensity in which he went into the challenge. A lot of people would consider it actually to be a good tackle.
So the first booking of the game does go to Hector Triantis. It's still goalless, 28.5 played. And although Rangers have been dominating the ball, Hibs have had a couple of decent chances. There's an offside against Kuharevich, who, although was well inside his own half, it was coming back from an offside position in Rangers' half when the ball was played forward. So still goalless. Jefty plays it back to Proper, who's fully recovered from that challenge from Triantis. Gets it back from Suter, midway inside his own half. Now he looks to go long, looking for Czerny. Doesn't reach him. It's O'Hara nods it down, but Lawrence picks up on the angle of the box. Flicks it back in. Igman looking to get on the end of that, but a really good challenge by Ekpiteta to get it clear. Had to make that very cleanly ahead of Igman, and he did so. And Hibs clear their lines, but it's picked up by Jefty. Nods it back to Barron, who's just caught there by Campbell, but Rangers continue in possession. Suter picks up, crossing the halfway line. Czerny has it. Half an hour in now. No goals at Ibrox between Rangers and Hibernian. Rangers applying a fair bit of pressure, but still no saves for Bursik to make. Here's Jefty left hand side. Back it goes to Barron, midway inside the Hibs half, left to centre. Can't find the pass to Lawrence. It was a slack one from Barron, and that allows Campbell to pick up, who's just caught there by Raskan, and it'll be a free kick to Hibs, and just eases the pressure on them. Get a little breather, get them up the park a bit. And with half an hour played, it's still Rangers 0, Hibs 0.
Yeah, Hibernian were causing one or two issues early on in the game, especially down the right hand side, getting deliveries into the box, but the last 10-15 minutes Rangers have had most of the ball. Hibs find it difficult to get forward into good areas with safe possession, but they've actually defended a lot of these situations really well. Again, closing the spaces for Rangers, forcing them wide and then dealing with it.
Proper knocks it forward. Igman up against Ekpiteta. Ekpiteta heads it forward. Barron picks up on the halfway line. Again, can't find a teammate, and it's picked up by O'Hara, who plays a good ball into the feet of Hoylett. He finds Kwon forward to Campbell. Neat football from Hibs. Right hand side is Cadden. Back comes McCausland to offer a bit of cover. Lewis Miller now linking with Cadden. Right hand side. Miller has dropped McCausland. He picks up on the goal line and slides Proper to knock it behind, prevent Miller's cross coming in. But that was a good bit of play there from Hibs down that right hand side, and they have a corner kick. 31 played, 0-0.
Really good football from Hibs there, fashioning that chance. Lewis Miller down the side, and Robin Proper comes across and defends really well. But a lot of positives from Hibs in this first half. They are starting to now frustrate Rangers. The problems did come from a Barron slack pass, which was, I think, the second one in the case for a couple of minutes there. So a wee bit of slottiness creeping in.
Here's Hoylett right hand side then, the right footed Canada international to swing it in towards the back post. A good delivery. Miller's in there causing problems. It breaks the Kwon at the edge of the box. Back out to Hoylett right hand side up against McCausland. Steps away from him. Hoylett on the left foot gets it back in towards the back post. It's nodded down. It'll come for Kwon again. He goes for goal, but it's well wide at this near post. Really needs to be aiming for the far post at that kind of angle, but no problems there for Butland. 32 played, Rangers 0, Hibs 0.
A couple of really good deliveries, one from the corner, and then Hoylett getting a second attempt, and half cleared. Kwon, it's a difficult chance to take on the half volley, but it kind of drags it into the ground, into the kind of near post side net. And could have taken a touch, maybe had the time to take a touch, but took the shot on first time and just never really got it cleanly.
It's one of the ones where the goals open up, your eyes light up, and you think, I'm going to lace this into the top corner, but it wasn't to be.
Suter has it at the back, just steps away from Kuharevich and then gets it back from Barron. He is comfortable, as Scott says, on the ball at the back. He will take a chance or two at times, but more often than not gets away with it because of his quality. He is finding Proper midway inside his own half. Just in terms of the Hibs performance so far, Scott? Are we beginning to see more of what more of a team kind of moulded in the style that David Gray wants to play?
Yeah, well, I've obviously played here with David Gray and won, and he's scored goals here, so he knows what it takes to come here and win. He knows that you need to be comfortable.
Here's Lawrence in a good position, left-hand side into the box. He comes, tries to curl it. Oh, what a goal! Oh, it's offside. Oh, Tom Lawrence with his head in his hands as he thought he'd scored an absolute perler, curling it beyond the outstretched Bursik, but the flag was up early. It'll be checked, of course, but Lawrence looks to have been denied by the flag. Well, Stephen Thompson, what a goal that would have been.
Absolutely outrageous finish from the edge of the box on the angle right into the top corner. It was brilliant. We could see it the whole way. Again, it was Lewis Miller kind of getting caught in the ball. I wondered whether he was fouled in the build-up. But anyway, a flag's gone up. I don't know who the flag was for. Would it have been Lawrence when he received the ball?
VAR checking it, of course, drawing the lines, because I think it is a tight one. Scott, you'd have admired the finish, I imagine.
Incredible finish. We were right behind it, and in slow motion just curled into the far corner. And that's the moments when the games are getting frustrating, you're not kind of creating the chances, and one moment of quality, and that's what it produced. So it'll be interesting to see what VAR decide here.
Yeah, Kevin Clancy in the VAR room having a look at it. It's taken a little while just to make sure they get this one right. Kerdine Itzan's our pitchside reporter and has got a monitor. Kerdine, what's your view?
I can understand the time they're taking it, because that looks onside to me. If it is offside, it's going to be a matter of millimetres, it looks like. So I can understand why they're taking their time here. To me, it looks like he's level / just onside. We're about to find out.
It is Lawrence they're checking here. No. VAR.
There was a couple yesterday, obviously doing sports team last night, that were very, very tight. And to me, on both occasions, the player looked off and they were given on, but we'll see what happens here.
Still checking it, and the wait goes on. Now, I think the recommendation is going to be a review here. And in fact, yeah, it's given. And Tom Lawrence belatedly celebrates with his teammate and the rest of Ibrox. It did take a while, but Kennedy's called it bang on. The assistant's flag proved to be incorrect, and Rangers have the advantage. And what a goal it was. Tom Lawrence curling it beyond Josef Bursik from the left-hand side of the penalty area. Unstoppable finish. And it's Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
Well, I mean, it was always going to take something, as Scott says, special to open the scoring here, because Hibernian have done really well to frustrate Rangers, and the chances have been at a premium, but that was out of the top draw. What a finish.
Tom Lawrence with a third goal of the season. And Rangers with their tails up, coming forward once more. Tavernier plays it into the penalty area. Pateta should get there first. Lawrence trying to close him down. He manages to do so, out for a throw-in. Again, Tom Lawrence, we've talked about John Souttar a bit. He's had a run of games, Scott. He's stayed fit, and you can just see his quality when he gets that kind of running the team.
Yeah, there's no question about his talent, and he is capable of big moments like he did there. Tom will tell you, when you're a player, when you have injuries and you're in and out and you just can't get that rhythm you're looking for, it can become really frustrating for you and the fans and the manager. But he's putting a run together, and now you're starting to see that quality shine through, and the fitness as well. So you get the match sharpness, and then you settle back into a rhythm. It's difficult to find when you're in and out.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a goal worth watching on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. Tune in for that. It's an absolute class finish from the Welshman.
Hibs need to be careful here. They don't go go and grab a goal back so quick. They just need to stay disciplined. If they can nick something on the break before half time, brilliant, but just get in at half time and see what the managers want to do for the second half, because quite often you see you lose a goal and then another one, and then the game's taken away from you. So just keep the discipline, because they were doing well up until that moment of brilliance from Tom Lawrence.
Rangers have it at the back. It's Proper midway inside his own half, looking to keep a fourth consecutive clean sheet, because Rangers at the start of the season did look a little bit shaky defensively, and even up at Tannadice we watched them, Tomo and I was here for the Dundee game, there were moments where, you know, Jack Butland for instance was called into action against Dundee, and United could have had a couple of goals with a bit more poised finishing, but they are looking a bit more solid at the back of late, Tomo.
Yeah, they are. Obviously 3 clean sheets in a row, and 5 clean sheets in 6 games it is actually, so defensively they've been good. I think, as we mentioned earlier, John Souttar's been a big part of that.
Here's Lawrence midway inside the Hibs half. Barron out to the left hand side for Jefty. Jefty about 20 yards from the byline, sends it in towards the back post. That's a decent take from Bursing. He wasn't under any particular pressure, but he was having to backpedal, and he clutches that one before any Rangers player can get on the end of it. We've got about 6 minutes to the break, plus a bit of added on time for that extended VAR check over the goal. Rangers leading by the goal to nil that was eventually awarded, chopped off initially by the assistant over on the far side, but overturned on the advice of Kevin Clancy in the VAR room, and Tom Lawrence eventually able to celebrate. Pateta's given it straight to Jefty. Now it's McCausland, left hand side, steps away from Cadden, moves in towards the centre circle, plays it out to the right hand side now for Czerny. Czerny up against Obita here, coming into the angle of the box, right hand side, lays it back to Tavernier. Tavernier looking to get it back to Raskin, about 30 yards from goal. It's a quiet but efficient enough game in there. I was just kind of wondering, Scott, maybe you have a view in this. Are Raskin and Barron almost kind of too similar to, would he want to have slightly different type of players in there, or are they different enough for you?
Yeah, I think Philippe Clement, in terms of European games and maybe against Celtic, he likes that different physical profile in there, which you can understand. For me, Barron is very tidy on the ball, but even in this game, and I've seen it when Rangers are building up, he takes the ball on the back three, when actually if he's 10 yards behind the Hibs press, he can take the ball in areas we can actually go and hurt the Hibernian midfield and backline, but he always seems to drop really deep without any pressure and take the ball. So I think he could maybe 10 yards deeper and affect the game and get the guys in higher positions into better areas.
Here's Kwon, who plays a similar role for Hibs on loan from Celtic. Now Campbell, he's dropping a little bit deeper into the centre circle. 5 minutes to the break. Rangers 1, Hibs 0. Tom Lawrence with his 3rd goal of the season, curling home just a few minutes ago. There's a Hora picking out Obita, who's in advanced area, fires it into the area, defended well by Souttar at the near post, picked up by Hoylett. He's caught in possession by Lawrence. Lawrence right hand side, tries to feed it forward for Igman. Pateta though nodding it back to his goalkeeper. Good defending, well watched and well judged by Pateta. And Hibs come forward once more, and it's Triantis forward for Cadden. It's a good ball up to the edge of the penalty area. Cadden takes it nicely, lays it back for Josh Campbell straight at Jack Butland. That was an opportunity from little over 18 yards, and Josh Campbell's certainly capable from that kind of distance of testing goalkeepers, but that was a comfortable one for Jack Butland. Maybe should have had a leveller.
Should have done better. Should have done better for me. It was great play from Cadden. The ball over the top, lays it into the middle of the goal, 18 yards out. He steps onto it perfectly. I think he's trying to reverse it, Scotty, into the
I think he's trying to come
far away post, but he just doesn't get any purchase on it. Straight at Jack Butland, but a really good chance, 18 yards out. I mean, he has hit the target, but it was
been a good reaction from Hibs though since the goal.
Lawrence forward, cut out by Miller. Miller looking to find Cadden, but he won't keep that one in. And it'll be a Rangers throw-in, quickly taken by Proper. Barron again coming deep to pick up possession and start this next phase of play for Rangers. Plays it square to Souttar, out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Now back with Souttar, midway inside his own half, 3 to the break. Barron again, and Proper just lays it back to Barron, left hand side, just shimmies away from Campbell. Looking at 4 minutes at this stage of added on time because of that delay. There was also a slight stoppage for an injury to Jefty. Here's Tavernier forward down the right hand side, looking for Czerny. Obita heads it only as far as Igman, goes for goal, and he's not too far away from finding it, just leaning back slightly, so it was always rising over the top from the Moroccan striker. 42.5 played, Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
Yeah, it was a longer ball up this time, nodded down to the edge of the 18-yard box from the Hibernian defender. Each man takes a touch, settles himself. He was leaning back a wee bit. As soon as he hit it, you always knew it was going to go over the bar, but it was a clean enough strike, but always rising.
It's, I mean, Ekman's done fine, albeit relatively quiet, but I mean, it's when he's not playing, you do realise and recognise what Cyril Dessers offers Rangers in terms of his link-up play. Here come Hibs trying to do something at the other end. It's Kuharevich, and now out with Hoylett, left-hand side, up against Czerny at the angle of the box. Gets past him, curls it into the area. Suter again is there with a commanding header. Returned by Miller. Suter once more in the way. Kwon trying to keep it alive, almost forcing it to Cadden. Then McCausland diverting it back towards his own goal. Hibs have picked up once more. It's Hoylett on the left-hand side. Decent pressure this from Hibs. Hoylett turns away towards the penalty, and now Kwon 20 yards from goal. Can he get the shot off? Oh, just wide from Kwon. Is it a touch from Butland that's taken it wide? It is going to be a corner kick, and Kwon once again comes close to finding the back of the net and denied, and it'll be a Hibs corner. Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
It's a great effort from Kwon, but Junior Hoylett in the build-up play twice there got the better of his man, shown some great feet work, and this time links plays a wee deft pass inside to Kwon. Kwon gets a shot away. Hibs, like I said a moment ago, the reaction to losing the goal has been excellent.
If it is a save, it's a brilliant save, because it looked for all the world it was going in the bottom corner to Jack Butland's left-hand side. He must have just got a fingertip to it, but a corner to defend.
Hoylett then right-hand side to take it as Hibs look for a leveller before the interval. Hoists it towards the back post. Ekpiteta's there into the area once more, nodded down. Confusion in the 6-yard box. Butland dives on it. There's claims in there for a handball from Hibs. Of course that will be checked as play continues for the moment. Nothing awarded by Nick Walsh, but Kevin Clancy will have a bit more work in the VAR room to be sure. Hibs players are absolutely adamant.
Yeah, they all are. They're remonstrating, and Nick Walsh pausing the game now. We'll find out shortly. It was a bit messy in the middle of the box from Rangers. The deep corner headed back into the danger area, and it just seemed to bounce up. It's difficult to see from here, but obviously a good 70 yards away from it. But
4 minutes added on initially, but that'll be extended further because of this delay. It was Suter, I think, the Rangers player involved. We certainly couldn't get a clear view of whether it was a deliberate action, whether it was a punishable action from the Rangers defender. Well, he's put his body in the way of a number of things in the penalty area. All to good effect so far, but he might have cost his side a spot kick here in injury time as VAR continue to look at it. And once again, it was good pressure from Hibs. Did cause confusion inside that Rangers penalty area.
They've got a lot of height in the box now from set pieces.
And there's going to be a review here from Nick Walsh, and you suspect that is only going to mean one thing. It's not completely unknown for referees to stick by their original decision, but more often than not they do reverse them on the advice of the VAR. Nick Walsh across now, down below us, looking at the monitor.
Times like this you wish we had a monitor to see exactly what's happened.
I wonder if
Get on Sports
Kerdin Nissan has been able to see a replay, Kerdin?
I have. I've seen several replays. It's Kuharevich takes the shot. It looks like it is going towards the goal. It clearly hits his elbow, and penalty.
Yeah. Nick Walsh has penalised John Suter then, and Hibs will have a big chance here now in first half stoppage time to level things up. The Rangers players and James Tavernier leading the inquisition with Nick Walsh, but he's not going to change the referee's mind, that's for sure. And Hibernian, having found themselves a goal behind as we headed towards the interval, have managed to win themselves a penalty, and Jack Butland now will have the task of trying to keep Kuharevich out as he steps up to try and draw his side level. It's a huge moment in first half stoppage time. Away across to our right hand side in front of the Copeland Roads, the Ukrainian Nikola Kuharevich will have the opportunity to try and beat Jack Butland and ruin that clean sheet record we were talking about Kuharevich already with a couple of goals to his name since rejoining Hibs on loan. He steps back to the edge of the penalty area. Up he steps, it's Kuharevich, saved by Butland. Low to his right hand side, Kuharevich stepped up, paused and struck it low to Butland's right. Butland guessed correctly and it remains Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
It's a really poor penalty for me, Scotty. I don't know about you, but the kind of pause as he steps up to the ball. Butland guessed where he was going, read it like a book, and then, you know, wasn't enough pace on it, wasn't in the corner enough. Good save from Butland, but one you'd expect him to make, and what a missed opportunity that is for Hibs.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for Hibs to go into half-time level. I agree with Tomo, very poor penalty. I think he thought he had disguise on it, but it was telegraphed, and Jack Butland obviously makes a great save down to his right. But for Hibs, that was a real moment to go in level and give them something, a platform to build on the second half.
Hugely disappointed for David Gray and his team, as Kuharevich denied by Jack Butland. And Kuharevich picking up once more on the left-hand side, but he'll be furious with himself because he might not get a better opportunity than that. Rangers surviving the penalty as we have played 4 minutes of stoppage time. There will be a little bit more than that because of that further delay in injury time, as Obita lines up a long throw in here on the left-hand side, about 15 yards from the corner flag, as Hibs attack down the left. And it comes, Pateta rises, it'll come out to Miller at the edge of the box, trying to get it to Campbell. Rangers have picked up possession. Oh, they thought they were away in the counter. Nick Walsh had already blown, and proper questioning why that wasn't. The advantage wasn't played, but I think Nick Walsh had already decided before he realised Rangers had picked up a decent position.
He'd blown fairly early on, in fairness to Nick Walsh.
So 5 minutes played of additional time here at the end of the first half. Rangers leading by a goal to nil, but only as a result of Jack Butland keeping out Mikola Kuharevich's penalty just a couple of moments ago. Butland launches the free kick long up towards Igaman. He's beaten in there by Pateta. Picked up by Jefte. Back the way goes to Proper, who hoists it forward again down the left-hand side, but it looks like it's gone out of play. Indeed it has. And a throw into Hibs, midway inside their own half, right-hand side, taken by Miller. Forward it goes. Jefte heads it down. Back to Miller, though. Miller plays it forward again. Hoylett could be in here. Tavernier comes across. Hoylett's inside the penalty area, right-hand side, forced out of it by a combination of Tavernier and Proper, who then goes down. He's fouled by Hoylett and wins the side the free kick. And as I say, Proper does look like he's beginning to feel more at home in that Rangers jersey, Tomo.
Yeah, he does. He does. I mean, he's obviously been playing a lot of minutes, but beside Suter, they've been getting clean sheets. On that occasion there, Tavernier does really well to come over from the right-hand side to close down Hoylett. It looked as though he was in for a second. He took his touch away from goal, and Tavernier kind of managed to force him into the corner, and the chance was gone. But Hibs have, for the last 10 minutes, Hibs have actually been creating more than Rangers have.
Well, there's a half-time whistle. Pretty eventful first half, and the end up Rangers struggled to create all that much in the early stages, whereas Hibs had a couple of decent efforts. There was a Kwon volley that was really well blocked by Suter. Junior Hoylett had previously turned an effort over the crossbar, but it all changed on 33 minutes as Tom Lawrence picked up possession on the left-hand side, just outside the penalty area, and curled an absolute beauty beyond Joseph Bursic and into the top left-hand corner of the goalkeeper's net to give Rangers the opener. Although it was initially chopped off for offside, VAR had a look at it and confirmed that Lawrence had been onside when he picked the ball up, and therefore the goal was allowed to stand. Hibs responded pretty well. There's a Campbell chance from the edge of the box. It was straight at Butland before Igman had an effort just over the top. Kwon also from just inside the penalty area, an effort. It looked like it was a good save from Jack Butland. And then the real drama came in injury time as Suter was eventually judged by VAR, and then Nick Walsh agreeing that he'd handballed it inside the penalty area, giving Hibs a penalty. But Mikola Kuharevich with a pretty average penalty, you'd have to say. It was on target, but Jack Butland made the save away down to his right to ensure that the half-time scoreline is Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
Rangers versus Hibernian. Football from Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. On BBC iPlayer.
Somebody need a hand? I'm branching out to new islands with new clients.
Wow, look at that!
Interior designer Banjo Beale and his team return to breathe new life into local businesses across the Hebrides.
Because we've got a lot to do in not a lot of time.
Creating incredible designs in the heart of island communities.
I think a lot of people will be really happy.
I think they'll be so happy. Whoa! I think I'm gonna cry. Up here, I love these lights. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Designing the Hebrides. Watch all episodes now on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. It has been an incident-packed opening 45 minutes, near 51 minutes at Ibrox Stadium, when Rangers do lead by 1-0. An excellent effort by Tom Lawrence, his third of the season, separating the sides. That's after the drama right at the end there. The first penalty that Hibernian have been awarded this season, the first that Rangers have conceded. Jack Butland with a save to deny Mikula Kuharevich, and that is why Rangers have the advantage right now. In terms of the women's game this afternoon, it's the SWPL Cup. Just one game having got underway. Boroughmuir 3-0 up against Livingston. A variety of other ties. We'll run you through the scores in those over the course of the afternoon. Remember, Off the Ball is on at 3 until 5 once we are done. And the highlights tonight on Sportscene, 7:15. You can get all the action from the weekend's top flight encounters on the BBC Scotland channel. In the week ahead, do listen out for the Scottish Football Daily podcast, wherever you pick up your podcasts. That's published Monday to Friday, and there's live European action to come on Tuesday and Thursday as well. It's a big week, as ever, here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We still have to wrap up the current weekends, and we've got 45 minutes left to do so. Rangers with the advantage, but it was a 45 minutes not without its little scares, I suppose, along the way. Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, I actually think that Hibs have done well in the game. Frustrating Rangers, kind of clear-cut chances for Rangers. There hasn't been that many you can count, really, to be honest with you. And Hibs themselves making 2-3 big opportunities. They just didn't make the most of them. The goal in the game is just unbelievable. What a finish it was from Tom Lawrence. And then, of course, they get the opportunity at the other end. We never saw it. Have you managed to have a better look at it yourself?
Yeah, it's a clear handball.
Right.
There's no question. Kuharevich just directing the ball towards goal, and John Suter, as he's been doing all day, getting his body in front of it, but sadly for him, his arm is up. It clearly strikes the elbow. He's a couple of yards out from goal. I'm surprised it took quite as long as it did. I could say that about a few of the VAR decisions, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a clear penalty.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a massive opportunity, isn't it? When you come to Ibrox, you don't get that many good chances to score goals, and to get one from the penalty spot just before half-time would have been ideal for Hibernian, but the penalty's poor. He kind of hesitated a wee bit in his run-up, and then Jack Butland knew where it was going well before it was struck, and it wasn't even that well struck a penalty. So it's a huge
it's the sort of penalty where if the keeper goes the wrong way, it's fine. If the keeper goes the right way, it's such a lethargic effort.
It looks too casual, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And a lot, you see a lot of people taking penalties like that just now with the kind of broken run-up and then the kind of wee pause. It looks great if it comes off, but for Kuharevich, unfortunately, it didn't. I think David Gray in the changing room won't be too disappointed. Obviously they're going in 1-0 down, but as we mentioned during commentary, I think it's been a decent enough Hibernian performance, creating opportunities of their own, frustrating Rangers. Rangers, I think, haven't reached the levels that they can in the game. I said during the first half, I felt the tempo wasn't ideal from Rangers. A lot of sideways passing. Scotty picked out the fact how deep Connor Barron's picking the ball up on lots of occasions, which you can understand to get him on the ball, but he's really doing nothing that a centre half can't do between them. He's dropping in there and just becoming like a third centre half. Bodies that require are further up the pitch, but Rangers had the lead, and they can play a lot better than that in the second half.
I mean, we spoke beforehand, Scott, about the Rangers coming back from a European tie and the fact that because it was such a positive performance, a brilliant win, then they would come in a bit of a high. But do you think there was a wee hangover in the early part of the match?
I'd say a slight hangover. I think Hibs have played their part in frustrating them and been very disciplined and organised behind the ball, which can cause you problems. And bearing in mind, Rangers have made a few changes and missing Cyril Dessers, so you do see the value when he isn't in this team, especially today in terms of how he brings guys into play. But McCausland's had these moments, some lovely skill down the corner, which was what you come to football stadiums to see, followed up by an outstanding finish from Tom Lawrence. It deserved better than a minute and a half wait for a celebration through VAR. But all in all, I think David Gray will be relatively pleased with how his team's played. They've probably carried out the job they've worked at doing all week out quite well, and then looking to cause problems on the counter-attack, which they have done with the pace that they've brought into the side. But ultimately, when you come to Ibrox and you're looking to get a result, you have to take the chances that are presented to you. That fell to Kuarevic, who, as Tomo touched on, if you're going to do the staggered run up, then you need to put some sort of disguise to make the goalkeeper go the opposite way, which he didn't. So, but for me, there's still something to build on for Hibs coming out in the second half. There will be a point in the game where they'll have to open it up a bit and try and get themselves back into the game, but I think he'll be relatively pleased with how they've carried out the instructions.
Just in terms of the opening goal, Tom, it's one of those where obviously they have to do the check. Again, I was surprised it took so long, because when you see the freeze frame, Tom Lawrence looks comfortably, not comfortably, but your instinct, since you see it instinctively, you think, look, he's onside. Now, I don't know if they had an issue with the lines. Maybe there was an issue with the technology as they were trying to get the lines sorted out. But I mean, it's always one of those, unless you're a Hibs fan, actually you don't want it to be ruled out simply because it was just an outstanding effort.
Yeah, and I think that'll be part of the frustration for Hibs, because they had kept Rangers from having really good opportunities, clear-cut opportunities when Rangers kind of played through them, and then to be undone with, just a moment of individual brilliance, and it was going to take something like that, you felt, because Rangers were struggling to create out with something like that. Tom Lawrence, for me, I think at the start of the season has been really, really positive for Rangers. I spoke in commentary about the fact he's getting a run of games, chipping in with goals, and his energy levels look high. If he's not in the team, who else was stepping up to do that there? To give Rangers the lead in the game. So he's become an important player for Rangers, as Tom Lawrence. And maybe at the start of the season, a lot of Rangers supporters wouldn't have thought that Tom Lawrence would be the kind of number 10 player who's going to be picked every game, but he's earned that. I think he's earned that with his performances. But the goal itself it's spectacular. I felt as though there might have been a foul in the build-up to it with Lewis Miller, but it wasn't looked at. And then when it breaks to him, you can see what he wants to do. It opens up for him, and he just curls it absolutely superbly, 20 yards out, and we were directly behind it. It was going into the top corner the second it left his foot. A brilliant finish.
Yeah, Tomo highlighting the importance and the impact that Tom Lawrence has the potential to make. Scott, in terms of the goals, he got the one against Dundee United last league game, a very different type of goal. It showed different characteristics, a real determination to burrow his way through, and a really deft finish there. The real quality. I mean, every season players emerge, don't they? Do you think that this could be a campaign where Tom Lawrence can really stamp his authority, stamp his name in that Rangers team?
Yeah, there's no question that he does have real ability, and he has the moments that he can produce like he has today. Yes, last week a different type of goal, but that's what you would expect from your number 10 in a Rangers team. Can he create chances? Can he take chances? And he's definitely shown that. The key thing for Rangers is keeping him fit throughout the season. That's what they're going to need to manage game time. Even in games like today, will they take him off after maybe 60 because he has had an injury history? So that'll be the key factor in how his season kind of turns out for me. But right now the quality he's shown has been fantastic, and a real plus in this Rangers side.
So just come back to Hibernian, a lot of actually decent stuff from them, a lot of positives for David Gray to take. The frustration will be that A, Rangers score, and B, they've spurned this penalty. Is it about trying to maintain the same mindset for the second 45 minutes?
Yeah, they need to be organised, especially as the game will probably open up a bit, but they still have to have a structure behind the ball where they can defend well and make themselves a threat when they're attacking. I think for me, the reaction when they did lose a goal was excellent from a Hibs point of view. They were the better team the last probably 5-10 minutes of that first half, and then with the penalty obviously not going in, it could be a completely different team talk if that goes in and you're coming out with something to hold on to, and the game plan kind of stays the same as it was in the first half, looking to hurt on the counter. But because they are a goal behind, there will be a point in this game where they have to open up a bit, maybe some changes as well. I think we'll likely see Dwight Gale come on and make his debut for Hibs. You know, he makes some great runs. I've seen a lot of him over the years, so it'll be interesting to see how they start the second half, but more so how they're going to finish the game, because they will have to open up at some point.
And in terms of Rangers, Tommy, you anticipate some changes being made in the second half?
So.
Yeah,
I'd say so. With the game that's coming up obviously on Thursday, you want to try and keep players fresh. You'd imagine you'll see Dessers coming onto the pitch at some stage, maybe by Rami, depending on what his knock's like. Sterling as well. I don't know whether or not Jeffy was still kind of holding his ribs. I noticed him in the last kind of 5 minutes of that half, whether or not he bring on Casemiro for Jeffy just to kind of protect him if he has got a wee knock. But I think Rangers can play better, and this is the balance between coming out of a high intensity European game with travel away from home to then get back and replicate that level of performance, and they've not managed to do it, although it's been a very different type of opposition with Hibs sitting in a structure and making things difficult. You know, Malmo were wide open and really disjointed. Hibs can take a lot of plaudits from their tactical play today and how structured they've been, but for Rangers it's just all about winning and keeping the momentum going and keeping that going into Thursday night's game. The next goal is always massive when you're 1-0 up. You know, if Rangers manage to get it, I think you could safely say it, the curtains. But if Hibernian get it, and they've shown signs that they're capable of getting a goal in this game, then it's very much game on.
I suppose what that penalty save has done, Scott, it's maintained this clean sheet run that they're on right now, and again, in terms of confidence, that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think from a Rangers point of view, their reaction to the Celtic defeat has been excellent, and that starts with getting identity on the pitch, getting your best players on the pitch first and foremost, and then being able to defend well. That gives you a solid base to then go and create chances, which they have done since that game. So slowly but surely Rangers are starting to put a side together that fans are starting to enjoy a lot more. Thursday night obviously helps with that. So today's all about getting 3 points in terms of a Rangers point of view, keeping the clean sheet and just keep moving game by game.
Tom Lawrence with the only goal so far, an outstanding effort. VAR was also called into action a little bit earlier. We talked about the goal and the penalty, of course. There was also the challenge in the first half.
Oh yeah, how did you see it, Richard?
Honestly, for me it's not even a foul.
Right. Yeah, it looked,
and I think the Hibs players were saying that.
Loads of the ball.
Foot's low to the ground, he plays the ball. He can't stop his momentum.
Yeah. I think the thing is, when you're in a stadium like this with the home support and the referee hears the reaction, he feels as though he's got to do something.
Yeah.
As I had in commentary, 20 years ago, that's not even looked at or a foul or anything.
I'll be interested to see what you guys think after you've had the opportunity to watch it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a good, strong, fair challenge. Anyway, it was just a yellow, thankfully. Kerdine, you've got some changes?
Yeah, interesting, Richard. Dowell and Bajrami coming on for Rangers. Raskan and McCausland off. That's 2 changes in the team. That's 1-0 up. I did wonder whether Philippe Clement was seeing enough from his side, even though they got a first half lead. Clearly not. Double change.
Wow. Interesting indeed. Dowell, of course, playing in the last game up at Tannadice in the victory up there. Bajrami also having his part to play that during that victory. So the 2 changes for Rangers. Remember, highlights from today and also all the action from yesterday. Sport Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. And in terms of the week ahead, we've got live action Tuesday. It's a Champions League. Celtic listening to back up their remarkable start when they take on Borussia Dortmund in Germany. Thursday, well, Rangers also, brilliant start for them in the Europa League. They're at home to Lyon. That will follow the conference encounter between Dinamo Minsk and Hearts. All the action live on Sports Sounds, just as it is here this afternoon. Second half coming up. Rangers 1, Hibernian 0, with Scott Allen, Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Hibs about to get us back underway. Dowell for Raskin's an interesting one, because I did pose Scott the question where Barron and Raskin kind of too similar. Certainly Dowell gives you a slightly more offensive type of central midfielder, maybe more of an 8 than a 6, if I can use the kind of
how modern of you are.
Modern parlance, yes.
Unbelievable.
So Hibs to get us restarted. The Bayrami for McCausland is a fairly straightforward one, but what it does offer is a kind of natural inside forward, which Philippe Clement tended to prefer, rather than the winger playing on his natural side. He wants those wide players to be cutting in more onto their stronger foot, I think. But anyway, we'll see if Bayrami getting on the ball, but then losing out in a physical battle, and it's turned out a play over on the far side by Jefte for Hibs throw. What do you make of the changes for Rangers at half-time, Scott?
The Bayrami one, obviously looking to come in and play off his right foot. Is it? I think in this type of game where Hibs do have all the bodies in the central area, sometimes width is needed. I just didn't think that Rangers were maybe as patient in terms of going from one side to the other in the first half to allow them then, when they do come back across with the ball, for chances to open up. So a player who I really like, I think he's been excellent since he came through the door. Another one of many who was, for me, outstanding on Thursday night. In terms of Dowell, yeah, I think you've got it spot on now, in terms of first half with Raskin and Barron both kind of coming under the ball, whereas Dowell looks to threaten in behind, make runs and maybe stretch that. Hibs solid back four and the two in front.
Hibs have started the second half pretty well and have won themselves a corner on the left hand side to be taken by Junior Hoylett, as they do look to get themselves back in level terms. An opportunity they passed up in first half injury time with the missed penalty, or the save penalty from Kuharevic, as Butland comes and clutches that inside his 6-yard box under significant pressure, and a Rangers player has kind of gone down underneath Butland and Lewis Miller, who was challenged. It's Connor Barron. He's back on his feet. He doesn't need treatment, so Rangers will play out from the back, and indeed Barron takes up possession. I suppose that's a disappointment for Raskin, who we're talking about his opportunity. Hasn't started a game.
Same for McCausland, yeah, really. Yeah, both of them limited game time. So it is disappointing for Raskin. I didn't think he did too much wrong in the first half. He was on the ball enough, but clearly the manager thinks they need something else in terms of attacking.
Eagleman coming back to take it off Kuharevic, who'll be looking to atone for that penalty miss. Hoylett's done well to get away from Tavernier down the left-hand side. Back comes Czerny. Czerny has managed to somehow get the ball back off him. I think more because Hoylett lost it, but he's won it back, and now he gets it to Abita, who swings it in dangerously. Propper's in the way. Suter helps it on, and then Tom Lawrence does likewise. It's picked up by Triantis.
Good start to the second half for Hibs.
Here's Lewis Miller going down the right-hand side. Is he caught there by Jefte? Yes, he is. And it will be a free kick to Hibs over on that far side. But yeah, Scott rightly saying that Hibs have started on the front foot, as you'd imagine David Gray would have wanted them to. Just to go back to the challenge from Triantis, and it's very rarely that I disagree with my learned colleague Richard Gordon, but the whole point about not being able to stop your momentum is exactly why you're not meant to go into those challenges in that fashion anymore. It's not about what happens as a result of it. It's simply they're trying to discourage people from making those challenges in the first place. But anyway, so
good point, well made.
Thanks, Stephen.
Enjoyed that.
Here's Hoylett, right hand side with the free kick. To the edge of the 6-yard box, Kuharevic goes up and wins the header, but he's well off target. He claims there was a nick on its way through, and it should be a corner, but it's not, and it's a goal kick. And Rangers can look to try and build down the right-hand side. Czerny picking up from Tavernier, cutting in field, and then arrowing it out to the left-hand side for Bayrami. If he can keep it in, what a ball that is. Yes, he has done. Down at the corner flag left-hand side. Back to Jefte, about 25 yards from goal. Clips it into the area. Czerny glances it down. Will it come for Eagleman? No, not quite, because Obita's there to sweep it away. as Rangers look to try and threaten for a second goal. Here's Igman now, though, picking up outside the penalty area. Tavernier leaves it to Czerny. Dowell there, getting out to Igman on the right-hand side. Back to Czerny on the angle of the box. Touches it into Dowell. Dowell edge of the penalty area. Is he just nudged there by Kuharevich? No, Nick Walsh wags the finger and says nothing wrong with that. The Rangers fans, you sense, agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, I think it was a foul.
Here's Igman right-hand side as Rangers look to try and create. He's just played that straight against Hoylett, and Obita picks up, but Tavernier comes in on his blind side and wins it back for Rangers. Now Czerny for Lawrence, edge of the box, tries to stab it towards goal. Blocked, but comes to Czerny, into the feet of Igman, can't bring it under control. Kwon back to O'Hara, who knocks it away. Suter underneath it. Josh Campbell trying to pick up in the middle of the park, but there's Dowell. And he gets it to Suter, who plays it to Proper. 5 minutes into the second period, still Rangers 1, Hibs 0. Rangers beginning to threaten again in this second half, but they absolutely feel like they need at least a second goal, because Hibs do look a threat as well, as Dowell has it in the middle of the park, just lays it off to Suter, just inside Hibs half, out to the right to Tavernier. One touch, swings it in, far too close to the goalkeeper, and an easy take for Josef Bursic.
I like the fact that he's crossing it early. As a striker, you want that early delivery, but you're right, it was just never got enough of his foot wrapped around the ball to keep it away from Bursic and goal.
He launches it over the halfway line. Tavernier wins the header above Kuharevich, nods it down to Proper, who just taps it on for Barron, who'll play it out to the left-hand side for Jefte, just inside the Hibs half. Back to Barron again, and then to Proper, about 10 yards inside Rangers half. Square to Suter, who's closed down by Hoylett. It's a loose pass, he was looking for Dowell, and it's picked up now by Triantis. He'll play out to the left-hand side. Rangers kind of exposed here as Hoylett comes up to the edge of the box, tries to curl it low. Suter again atoning for the error by getting himself in the way. He's made so many important blocks, and Rangers will come forward through Jefte. Tries to slide it through, looking for Bayrami, but it was well read and intercepted by Lewis Miller, who plays it infield to Triantis. He's just given that away though to Bayrami, edge of the box. It's Bayrami, got a bit of room here. Ricochet shot comes for O'Hara, who's able to get it away to Kwon, but Jefte picks up well. Jefte goes for goal, and he's a few yards wide. An audacious effort with the outside of the left foot from the fullback, and it wasn't a bad effort, it was well wide in the end.
Hit it with his right foot. I mean, it's never ever set for his left foot there.
Only if you look at Modric.
Aye, exactly. I mean, you can see what he's tried, but just hit it with your right. He's 20 yards out from goal. It's opened up for him really nicely. Just have a swing, even if you're not that confident in your right. Have a swing with it. Made some goal if he had pulled it off, but I'm not sure he's quite in that category of player.
Both chances there at opposite ends, both coming from turnovers of the ball. A bit of slackness there, especially Triantis. If he'd been punished with that, he'd be really disappointed. But listen, Hibs still looking a threat when they turn over the ball.
Miller fouled by Proper, and there's a yellow card coming there for the Dutchman. Not sure it was really a yellow card challenge, but Nick Walsh showing it to Robin Proper, and it'll be a free kick to Hibernian over on the right hand side, just in from the touchline, and an opportunity for O'Hara and Ekpiteta to add their weight and height to the Hibs attack here, as Hoylett prepares to send it in from the right, midway inside the Rangers half. It's a good flat delivery, it's going to come all the way through to Butland. In the end, it took a nick in its way through there. I'm not sure who it was that got a touch, whether it was a Hibs or Rangers player, but it fell kindly in the end for the Rangers keeper, because it could have gone anywhere. Here's Jefte bringing Rangers forward. We'll come back to that one in a second as Dowell manoeuvres it out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Tavernier about 30 yards from goal, gets it back from Czerny, tries to play it through for Lawrence. Unlucky that he didn't find the pass there as it was cut out. Now it's with Czerny on the angle of the box, right hand side. Lawrence trying to get himself into an area where he can take the pass. Czerny goes for goal instead. There's another Rangers change coming, we'll tell you about that in a minute, as well, as they still have it. It's Bayrami into the feet of Igman, he goes for goal. It takes a ricochet and it's cleared by Obita well up towards the halfway line. Proper nods it down, but only to Chris Cadden. Cadden brings Hibs forward, crossing the halfway line now, checks back and waits for support, which arrives from Kwon just inside his own half. Plays it square for Triantis. It's going to be Cyril Dessers who's coming on as Obita comes forward down the left-hand side, plays it infield once more to Triantis. He's closed down by Igman, who's presumably about to be replaced here, as Josh Campbell picks up about 30 yards from goal. He'll go for goal. It comes off Barron. It will be a Hibs corner, and I wonder if that change is going to be made. Actually, it's quite rare you see a team making a change when they're defending a corner, but yeah, it's Hamza Igman, the Moroccan 21-year-old, on his first start, replaced by Cyril Dessers, as Rangers look to try and put the game beyond Hibernian, but they've got a bit of defending to do. What do you make of Hamza Igman?
It was a big day for him. He didn't really get involved in the game as much as I'd like to have seen him do so. A couple of nice flashes, a couple of nice touches, but never really got a snip at goal. He'd be disappointed.
Here comes the corner kick from the left-hand side for Hibernian. Junior Hoylett, left-hand side, near post ball. It's nodded behind at the near post by Rami. They did have that chance a moment ago as well from the free kick, so Rangers have had a fair bit of defending to do.
Deliveries have been good from Hibernian in set plays, asking questions, putting the ball into good areas.
Hoylett will try again from the left-hand side, right-footed. Veteran Canadian swings in. It's a dangerous looking one. Butland gets a good fist to it. There's a free kick awarded for the challenge on Butland inside his own 6-yard box. He was under significant pressure and he did well in the end. There's 2 balls in the pitch, so Rangers are going to have to take that free kick again. But again, Scott, you have to say Hibs still very much in this game.
Very much in the game, and I think set pieces could be the difference with Hibs getting back in this game or not. They obviously carry a lot better height when they're up for set pieces, whether it be free kicks or corners, and Rangers have struggled to deal with first contact on a lot of the occasions. So for Hibs, got to start making a bit more of the set pieces because of the threats that they offer from them.
Jefty's given it away to Hoylett in a dangerous area. He threads it forward, out it goes from Campbell to Obita. Obita back to Junior Hoylett, left-hand side. He'll curl this one into the penalty area. Knocked away as far as Kwon. Can he get a shot on target this time? Again, it's over the top from Kwon. He was being pressurised as he had to get the shot away quickly, and it's over the top from Kwon. 57 almost on the clock. Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
Good build-up from Hibernian again down this left-hand side. Hoylett's deliveries into the box have been brilliant today. Really, really good. Asking questions of the Rangers defence. They half clear it to the edge of the box. Kwon takes a touch. He was under severe pressure when he hit it. 20 yards out. Again, always rising. Disappointed he didn't get it on target.
Junior Hoylett, for me, been excellent today. Looks
really good.
Yeah, great threat from deliveries. Showed real moments of quality in one-on-one situations. So I think the Hibs fans will be delighted with how he's performed today.
Suter, straight ball forward to Dowell on the centre spot, more or less. Good play for him to get to the left-hand side for Jefty. Jefty, early ball in's cut out by Miller. This game reminds me a little bit of the game up at Tannadice, Tomo, in the sense that it's still on a knife edge. Rangers seen plenty of the ball, but by no means out of sight, and it could be a nervy final half hour.
The longer it goes, definitely. I mentioned at half-time the importance of the next goal. Hibernian, I think, are carrying more of a threat than United did up at Tannadice that day.
Agreed. It's back with Butland just outside this area. 58 played. Rangers still leading by the 1-0. The goal coming from Tom Lawrence after 33 minutes. Here's Dowell. Flicks it out now to the right-hand side for Tavernier. Tavernier, a couple of touches, then swings it in. That's the second one. It's gone straight into the arms of Bursic. I mean, Tavernier from that kind of position, usually his delivery into the box is usually impeccable, but not so in the last couple of occasions.
Nah, the last two haven't been his best.
Here are Hibs in possession with Cadden. Back the way he goes. Kwon having to backpedal there. Cadden again off Shefty, out for a throw-in on the far side. Rangers have won their last 7 meetings with Hibs since a 2-2 draw at Easter Road back in August of 2022, and generally have a very good record against Hibs. 22 unbeaten in the league against them since that one back in December 2018 that I mentioned earlier, when Scott was telling me he won the penalty that eventually won it for Hibs. Jamie McLaren stepping up to slot that one away. Here come Rangers with Suter, finding Lawrence. Lawrence now trying to slip it for Dessers. O'Hara though read it well, and Hibs get their lines cleared. And in fact, Campbell's turned away from Barron, who's desperately trying to get back at him. Still Campbell. Down the left-hand side goes Hoylett. Suter having to come across to try and deal with him. It's Hoylett inside the penalty area now, left-hand side. Suter trying to show him away from goal. He's done well to shepherd him out of the area, but then he's committed the foul. Well, that was just a bit overzealous from John Suter, who did the first part really well by moving him away from goal, but then he didn't really have to put the foot in there.
Brilliant from Hoylett. The experience he showed there to invite the contact. He was going down a rabbit hole, and the contact he knew was coming from Suter and goes to ground. Really,
but it didn't have to come.
No,
did it?
But it's not really a foul in my opinion. He feels it and goes down.
I was about to say that was exactly like the penalty I got on that day, except it was 10 yards in the box.
Hoylett then over a very dangerous looking free kick, a couple of yards off the goal line, a few yards in from the touchline on the left-hand side, curls it back post. Jefte eventually managing to get it away as it fell to him and not a Hibs player inside the box. Kwon goes and picks up under pressure from Bayrami, right-hand side, plays it into Cadden, and you do feel the Rangers fans just getting a bit restless at the fact that Hibs are seeing so much of the attacking play here in this second period.
Oh, absolutely. You can hear the kind of tension in the stands. They know how important this next goal is. They know they can't afford to drop any more points in their bid to be champions. So Hibernian really second half have been the better team for me.
Lewis Miller lining up a long throw in from the right hand side, about 16 yards from the corner flag. Bleach blonde Australian about to hurl this one in to the near post. A good throw in, comes off the head of Proper. It'll come to Cadden, right hand side, back to Miller. Rangers fans want more pressure on the ball. It comes out to the edge of the box for Dessers. Can he get his team up the park? Not for the moment. It's Ekpiteta still up there. Triantis works it out to Hoylett, edge of the box. Oh, he just played that straight into the path of Tavernier, and here come Rangers. Can they counter through Czerny? Triantis is with him. He just plays it off the Australian and knocks it out of play, and it'll be a Rangers throw-in, but a bit of relief there for Rangers because they were under the cosh just for the last few minutes, but they've survived it and they still have the 1-goal advantage given to them by Tom Lawrence, who played 61.5 as Rangers come forward now on the left-hand side. It's Jefte into Bayrami, midway inside the Hibs half. Curls it in, looking for Dessers. Too close again to the goalkeeper. Bursick's had a few of them to take, and he's done so comfortably, as you'd expect. Oh, wonderful touch from Hoylett, first touch, but then Tavernier comes back to nick it off him. But the first touch was absolutely exquisite, pulling that out of the air. Scott Allen, you'd have appreciated that one yourself, I imagine.
I really did. Like we touched on him a while ago, he's been excellent for me. He actually seems as if he's come into the game a lot more now. They're looking for him. James Tavernier definitely has some problems on his hand. If you leave him in with time and space, he has got that quality. We've seen that last year at Aberdeen as well. But in terms of how the second half has went, Rangers have made the changes. Hibs have just went about their business the same way, from a defensive structure, closing these spaces round about the box, where Rangers are now trying to penetrate, and on the counter Hibs look a real threat, set pieces as well. So Hibs just need to stick at it. There will be chances in this game.
Here's Triantis just inside the Rangers half, back the way to O'Hara. I was going to ask you, Stephen, if you'd ever taken a first touch like that in your life, but I think
you know the answer. You know the answer to that question, Alistair.
Hoylett spinning away from Tavernier. He has looked more and more influential. He feeds that out to the right hand side to Cadden. Cadden a few yards from the goal line into Miller. He just dummies it. Dowell's giving it straight back to Miller inside the box. Again, it's the block made this time from Proper. Comes to Triantis. Miller on the edge of the penalty area. Flicks it back in for Triantis. His countryman gets it back into the area. Suter away. Oh, the Rangers fans not happy with what they're seeing, but the Hibs fans over on the far side, much more enjoyment for them, but they do still trail by a goal to nil. 63 played as Liam Craig and David Gray down below us plot potentially a change or two to try and find that equaliser that you would have to argue that their play deserves, as Jefte gets his head to a throw in, and Kuharevich will just see that behind, but no, looked like it was going out for a Hibs corner, but Kuharevich has been penalised for holding on to Proper right in the goal line there. And Kennedy, I think you've got news of Hibs changes.
I do indeed. Interesting changes as well. Ellie Ewan is coming on for Hibs, and for a debut, Gale coming on for Hibs as well.
That's right, Gale. Premiership veteran, also Championship veteran. Really experienced player over the years, and interesting to see what kind of impact he can make in the closing 25 minutes. That change not coming just yet as Tierney picks up. Rangers have been second best in this second half, I think you'd
absolutely
have to say. And as Jefty plays it back the way to Barron, and the changes, as Scott's saying, that Rangers have made haven't really influenced the game. But here's Dowell, who will try and do just that. Here he gets it out to Tavernier, right hand side, midway inside the Hibs half, back into Dowell again to Tavernier. Tierney back to Tavernier once more, could have swivelled there and maybe made some headway. Dowell, that's a good ball now for Lawrence. Lawrence tries to thread it through for Dessers, doesn't happen though. Hoylett just hacks it away over to the far side, and it'll go out of play for a Rangers throw-in, more or less in the halfway line, as both Dwight Gale and indeed Ellie Ewan prepares to come on. So certainly positive changes coming from David Gray, as Obita robs Tierney, plays it forward for Hoylett, tries to knock it beyond Suter, who read that well, and well, he's done exactly the opposite, or the exact same as Hoylett did a moment ago to him, going down as he feels the contact, and on that occasion it was good play from the Rangers defender once again.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you've seen it so many times when a defender feels a wee bit of pressure on their back from a striker going down. Not a foul in my book, but he's won it, and I suppose that's tit for tat for the one that Hoylett did earlier on.
Tavernier for Barron forward for Tierney. I mean, that's again, Tierney, why is he not aware that he's able to turn? I mean, surely a player of his quality and experience knows enough that he should be checking his shoulder to know that he can take that ball in and turn rather than playing the ball back again.
Yeah, he should do, but what he also shouldn't do is shout what he just shouted to the Rangers fans that were screaming at him twice, which I'll not repeat. I'll not go down well if any of the cameras have caught that.
Yeah, well, the Rangers fans were quick to let him know that they didn't appreciate the backwards pass, but understandably, as Rangers come forward now down the left-hand side, it's Bayrami for Lawrence back to the Albanian, who got his first goal for the club in the first minute in Malmo, almost emulating that earliest ever goal at the Euros. Again, Rangers thwarted down the left-hand side. Still Gale and Ewan wait to come on, and the referee signalling now that those changes can be made. So let's see who's coming off as Dwight Gale prepares to make his Hibs bow. It's Junior Hoylett who's been replaced by Ellie Ewan. I mean, you can understand that maybe he's not quite up to full match fitness, maybe not ready to play the 90, but he's been so good, particularly in the second half. That is a kind of a loss for Hibs, albeit Ellie Ewan can be very effective himself.
Yeah, surprised at that. Hoylett's, for me, being Hibs' best player this afternoon. Maybe he is just running out of legs. I don't know how much football he's had, but Kukurevic, the other one to come off. Gale going up front.
I just think when you're trying to get back in the game, he has been the most influential player today, and where the spark looks where it's going to come from for Hibs' point of view. So I think when you're a goal down, you keep your players on the pitch who have the best chance of getting you back in the game, and maybe putting you on the opposite wing, take off maybe Cadden, who's more defensive minded.
Yeah, it's Tierney that's been replaced by Dujon Sterling, and a word in the ear from his manager there at the edge of the technical area just as he comes off. It's
I know exactly what he's been told, because I think his manager saw what he shouted as well.
Well, he's been pretty ineffective, certainly second half, and Dujon Sterling is a completely different option. I mean, Dujon Sterling, I think he was really signed as a right back, effectively maybe as an understudy to James Tavernier. I think I've seen him play in every single position other than right back for Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of his problem, isn't it? That he's so versatile that he can't actually nail down a spot in the team. His time's been limited in the pitch this season, and I think it is just because of that one reason.
I don't think I confirmed that it was Gale for Kukurevic as well as Ewan for Hoylett, so a bit of freshness to that front line for Hibernian is proper, couldn't bring the Butland pass under control, and it invites more pressure on the Rangers back line. 69 minutes on the clock, they lead by a goal to nil, but this second half has been uncomfortable viewing for the Rangers fans inside Ibrox, and Hibs still threatening an equaliser.
Wasn't the best ball from
no, it wasn't.
I've ever seen, but probably should have dealt with it.
Yeah, it wasn't a good pass out to the left-hand side from Butland, but throw in about 15 yards from the corner flag, hurled in again by Miller, takes a glance at the near post and into the arms of Butland again. It came off a kind of combination of players, but thankfully for Rangers, it was straight into the arms of Butland. But
there's been so many of those occasions where the ball's just not fallen for Hibs in that penalty box. It's fallen to a Rangers defender.
Dessers on the hunt there as O'Hara climbs high to cut out the Tavernier through ball, and Hibs pick up once more, but Rangers have it back on the halfway line, and it's Tavernier.
It's the lack of urgency from the Rangers side in the second half. I think that stems with the twice that Czerny was in pockets where he not could, he should be turning with the ball when he comes back into the pressure, and then the chance to go and get at the Hibs structured back four is gone. So I can see the frustration seeping in for the Rangers fans, and you can see why.
Balls back with Josef Bursic, and just bowls it out to O'Hara. He and Nick Pateta been pretty solid at the back for Hibernian. Nothing they could have done about the Tom Lawrence goal. Certainly that was just a moment of real class as Obita and Campbell link nicely. Gale goes back the way to Kwon when he could have probably spun himself and gone forward. Here's Lewis Miller down the right hand side, coming inside by Rami into the feet of Gale. Again, it's a slightly misplaced pass out to Cadden, but he'll keep it in and go back to Kwon once more. Triantis is available inside, midway inside the Rangers half, out to the left. Yuan now up against Tavernier. Can he find a bit of genius here to get away from the Rangers captain? He tries to go for goal, but it won't curl in, and it's well wide of goal, and it remains after 71 minutes. Rangers 1, Hibernian 0.
He's just never set to shoot there. I don't know why he's taking the shot on. He's got Tavernier faced up, he's got the pace to take him on down the line. He should have done that. He goes into the pitch and then tries the shot when he was so off balance.
Well, one of Hibs' problems this season has been scoring goals. Only Hearts have fewer, and although they've had plenty of attacking play, they haven't really troubled Jack Butland in this second half. To be honest, I've not noted down any clear chances from either side. 48,217 inside Ibrox for this first league match back at their home ground, after the first couple of league games had to be played at Hampden. Rangers currently on course to narrow the gap again on Celtic and Aberdeen to 5, but I don't think too many in blue at Ibrox so far will be counting their chickens on that one just yet, with 18 to play. Still a narrow advantage, but Hibs having plenty of the ball, plenty of the attacking play, plenty of pressure, but as yet no goals. As Lewis Miller again has the opportunity on the right hand side with the throw in, but he goes short this time to Cadden. Cadden not closed down, plays it back to Miller about 15 yards from the corner flag, trying to bundle his way past by Rami. Has he kept that in? Yes, it would just be a throw in down in front of the couple of thousand Hibs fans gathered over there in the far corner.
I don't know why he doesn't just set it back for Cadden so he can come onto it first time. The balls into the box have caused Rangers problems today, albeit they haven't yet fell to a Hibs player, but strange one to try and go down that.
Here's Miller again. This is a long one into the box. Suter gets something on it at the near post. Triantis at the edge of the box under pressure from Barron and Sterling, trying to turn away from both of them. He goes down, but he's managed to find Campbell in any event. He also goes down, but he just runs it out of play. The referee not interested in either of the Hibs players' claims that they were knocked to the ground, and it will be a Rangers goal kick. Kerry, I think there's going to be another Hibs change or two, is there?
Yeah, it looks like they're contemplating a couple of changes. Dylan Levitt and Harry McCurdy both getting stripped in front of me. No action at the moment in terms of them coming off the bench, but they are being primed to come on for the last, 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, just a little bit more than that left at Ibrox, with Rangers leading by a goal to nil, but not a convincing display from the home side.
Far from it, Alistair. It's been a poor performance from Rangers. One shot in target in the game, home game.
Dessers doing well to pick up and find Sterling. Now it's back with Dessers inside the penalty area, right hand side. Back it goes to Tavernier. He leaves it to Lawrence. Crowded area, gets the shot on target, and that's straight at the goalkeeper. Comfortable save, but it is another shot on target, and Rangers first certainly of that second half.
Yeah, he wasn't really set. You know, it was a difficult one for him to take. 20 yards, 22 yards out, just trying to get his foot wrapped around it, straight at Bursic and goals. That's 2 shots on target now for Rangers, which I'd imagine might be one of their lowest here in a league game.
It must be frustrating for Philippe Clement as well as the Rangers fans, because just when he sees his side beginning to click into gear, really good performance out in Malmo, brilliant result, and then they produce a kind of another tepid display here, and well, I mean, they're on track to win the 3 points, but certainly not a given at the moment. Here's Bayrami back in his own half, plays it back to Proper, and now Lawrence going deep to pick up in the left back position. Rangers trying to come forward down that left flank. Jeffrey can't get beyond Miller, and it's out of play for a throw in. McCurdy is going to come on, and there is another. Yeah, Levitt is also stripped, as Kerrigan was indicating, as Jeffrey's put under significant pressure there on the left hand side, manages to find Lawrence. It's not a great ball, he's fouled by Kwon, and it'll be a Rangers free kick midway inside their own half. It's gone back to Butland. Rangers certainly, you feel, need a second goal to be sure of the 3 points. Hibs will still believe that they can get something from this, and it's out of play from Proper.
And passes like that help. That gives the other team belief. Hibs now is playing with a lot more confidence in the ball, a lot of composure. Touch on Tom when Tom said about the strikes from the edge of the box. Hibs are getting great pressure around the ball as soon as it gets laid back and it comes across. They have, in that defensive structure, been excellent, and the only real bit of quality in the whole game has been that Tom Lawrence finish.
Poor challenge there from Dowell on Triantis, and a yellow card comes for the Rangers substitute. Probably a deserved one.
Yeah, he was late into the challenge. Looks as though Triantis will be okay getting back to his feet now, but he definitely felt it.
I did the Dundee Aberdeen game yesterday, and it felt in that one that Dundee would rue. You know, they were very good, especially second half. Probably deserved a point, and you imagine that Hibs, if they don't come out of this game with anything, they'll feel very much the same.
100%, 100%, absolutely.
They will be, but when they're looking back on Monday morning or what have you, and they look at what you've worked on during the week previous, and then you go and carry that out at Ibrox and make Rangers look very, very ordinary, which you have at times today, and you've potentially lost a game to a moment of real quality. That's what happens when you come and play against these teams sometimes.
Yeah, so it's McCurdy and Levitt on for Kwon, and was it Triantis that came off there? No, Triantis is still on. Oh, it was Josh Campbell, wasn't it? So pretty attacking changes, you would have to say, from David Gray as he searches for at least a point, as Triantis picks up possession in the middle of the park, closed down by Dowell, has to go back the way to Ekpiteta. He's tried to find Miller over there on the far side, but that's just gone astray, and it'll be a Rangers throw in. 77 minutes played, it's Rangers 1, Hibs 0 in this final Premiership game of the weekend. Rangers have won the last 10 here at Ibrox against Hibs. But this is by no means going to be 11, or not for sure anyway. In the closing 30 minutes, Hibs will feel there is another chance waiting for them as Lawrence picks up and he's under pressure going back towards his own goal. He manages to get the pass off to Suter, who in turn finds Dowell, and now it's Tavernier who'll try and bring Rangers forward. Little nutmeg there on Triantis, checks back away from Yuan. Good play from the Rangers captain. Dowell now on the right hand side, gets it to Sterling. Dowell continues ahead of him, Sterling has it. Triantis has stayed in the deck, but he picks himself up now, but it's Sterling out to Dowell, right hand side of the box. Back for Tavernier, can he get the shot off here? Tavernier goes for goal, well blocked by O'Hara, and it breaks kindly for Triantis, left hand side. As Hibs will try and counter, plays it forward looking for McCurdy. McCurdy backing into Proper, judges that well, nods it down to Jeffrey, who then moves away from Cadden down the left hand side. Rangers come, Jeffrey has Bayrami ahead of him. Here is Bayrami, left hand side, tries to play it in early. Dowell wanted to cut back at the edge of the box. It was blocked in the end by Ekpiteta, out for a throw in on the far side. 11 and a half to play, Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
Better from Rangers down the left-hand side. Jeffy going forward with the ball. There's not been enough of that in the second half. Bayrami making a good run in behind. Tries to flash the early cross, but cut out well in the end by Miller.
Rangers throw-in comes to Bayrami, knocks it back to Dowell, midway inside the Hibs half, back out to the left, and Jeffy will just about keep that in. Now he's at the corner flag, swings it in near post, Dessers goes to attack it, Ekpiteta was there first. Again, it's good defending from Ekpiteta to knock it out of play over on the far side. The Rangers throw-in is quickly taken, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line. Proper steps in, plays it short to Lawrence as Nathan Mariah Welsh is going to be, I think, the final Hibs change of the afternoon, as Suter finds Bayrami. Bayrami just stands in the ball and then plays it out to the left to Jeffy. Oh, it's a poor delivery from Jeffy, just when he had time and space to pick out a teammate after a good play from Bayrami, but it's gone all the way out for a throw-in in this near side to Hibs, down near the corner flag. And here comes this final change, and it is Triantis who is going to be replaced this time by Nathan Mariah Welsh. A like-for-like change in that holding role in midfield. And as the 80th minute comes to an end, it remains Rangers 1, Hibs 0, and the game's still on a knife edge. Hibs with a throw-in down near their own corner flag on the left-hand side. Obita to take. Can they find an equalising goal in these closing stages? Barron has stepped in and nods it to Dessers. Dessers away from one, but then Ekpiteta comes across. He's been excellent, actually, really impressive, and he gets it clear, but out of play for a Rangers throw, which is quickly taken by Tavernier to Sterling, right hand side, about 10 yards from the goal, and just pokes it for Barron, who's even closer to the goal line. It comes back off. A combination of Mariah Welsh and Barron, but still in play, and Jeffy gets out to the left-hand side now for Bayrami. Angle of the box, up against Miller, takes him on the outside, stands it up to the back post. Dessers! Oh, how did he keep that out? The goalkeeper! That's outstanding from Bursic. Still it's alive inside the penalty area. Up goes Sterling, and that's an easier save from Bursic. Well, Cyril Dessers must have thought from a couple of yards out that he had got Rangers' second goal, but somehow Joseph Bursic stuck out the right hand, kept it out. It remains Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
Give Bursic a lot of credit, but there is absolutely no way that you should miss that opportunity. He is, what, less than a metre out. A free header, nobody on him. I just can't actually believe he's missed that chance. It's brilliant.
Head down.
Down the way, the keeper's got no chance. Headers it straight towards the goalkeeper. I mean, that is a proper sitter. Proper sitter.
Well, you can judge for yourself on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on BBC Scotland, whether Tom has been slightly harsh there on Cyril Dessers or otherwise. I mean, my initial instinct was just that it was a fantastic save. But, you know, I do bow to your superior striking knowledge.
You don't get better chances than that, Al. You just don't.
I think Kerrigan's had a view of it. I'll get his opinion on it, and then I'll judge whether I value his opinion after he's given it. Here come Hibs. Chance! Just wide! That is a big chance for Dwight Gale to score in his Hibs debut. And they don't come, well, maybe they do come a little bit more golden than that if you compare it to Cyril Dessers, but nonetheless, 10 yards from goal, point blank, and he can't hit the target. That was a big chance, Scott Allen.
I was going to go to Tomo for that one, the guy who scored many a headers. For me, it's a great cross. Hibs still looking a threat as much as... That's why you got to... I know Tomo's on Dessers for the first one, but Bursic has to make the save, and he does, and it keeps him in the game, gives him a chance to go down the other end, and it's like Dwight Gale, he does
so much right with it.
Yeah, he does.
It's got to be just centimetres past Jack Butland's left-hand post. He makes a really good connection with his head, back where the cross has come from. It's very, very close, and a let-off for Rangers is what it is.
Certainly was. Dwight Gale must have scored dozens of those types of headers over the course of his career, but not on this occasion, as Rangers try and come forward down the left-hand side. Eventually breaks for Barron, back to Dessers, and Lawrence then finds the ball out to Tavernier, but it's too high for him. And the Rangers fans are nervous around Ibrox. Let's get down to Kerrigan, let's get his opinion then on that Cyril Dessers chance.
You're not going to like this, Al. Tomo's called both of them absolutely spot on. Dessers absolutely has to score. The only place he headed it was the only place the goalie could save it. I'll break off now as Hibs come forward again.
Yeah, it's Ewan down the left-hand side. I've never really valued Kerrigan's footballing opinion, I have to say.
No, it's a proper sitter.
Good turn from Sterling away from Gale into the feet of Dessers. Back to Dowell, just inside his own half. Rangers desperate for a second goal to take this game beyond Hibernian. They might get it here as Lawrence out to Bayrami, left hand side. Dowell's at the edge of the box, still it's Bayrami. Well blocked by Miller. In slides Barron to get there ahead of Yuan. Comes out to the right hand side. Lawrence trying to get there as well, but Obita knocks it out of play as Rangers are about to bring on Casanviro for the final minutes here.
It's a problem for Hibernian. They're just getting caught in the counter-attack. They've brought on so many attacking players and they're really pushing as we go into the last, however long's left, and they're leaving themselves a wee bit more exposed now.
Yeah, we thought that was going to happen. They had to kind of roll the dice as the game went on, try and get back in the game. Nearly pays off with Dwight Gale. I was laughing, you keep me out. I've never been an expert in heading. Lucky if I've had double figures in my whole career in terms of even head on the ball, so Tom was the expert on that.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. Well, the Rangers have made that change. Casanviro on for Tom Lawrence. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'll tell you what they've done. They've gone Casanviro right back, Dujon Sterling back into centre mid, and James Tavernier in a position that many people over the years have said maybe he should be playing as a right winger. So that's an interesting move for the last 5 minutes as Rangers try to ensure they get the 3 points. Here is Casanviro, who I thought was pretty impressive left back.
Yeah, he never had much to do in the game in Malmo, to be honest with you, but he did everything he was asked to do well.
Here's Bayrami, 5 to play plus stoppage time at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Hibs 0 as Proper into the feet of Dowell. He's just been dragged rather there by Gale, and the referee pauses to see if there's an advantage. There isn't really, and it will be a free kick to Rangers midway inside the Hibs half, just left the centre, and still they are not comfortable with this 1-0 victory. But they have an opportunity here to make it safe. The free kick. What do you make of that change with Tavernier being pushed up? I mean, he should be comfortable enough there.
Yeah, he will be comfortable enough, but it is a different game from right back. Tavernier likes to come onto the ball when it's played in front of him. That's where he's, over the years, he's been so consistent in terms of delivery and getting goals. So he is higher and usually won't have to go by a guy because you have a full back marking him, but he does have the qualities where if he's in the final third he can hurt you.
Jefty free kick into the box, a chance, that should have been a goal. Robin Proper rising completely unmarked, 10 yards from goal, heads over the top, can't even hit the target. That was another chance to bury Hibs.
It's another one that should have been a goal. Well, it's a very simple header to execute there for Robin Proper, unmarked as you rightly point out, middle of the 6-yard box, header it down, it's a goal, puts it over the bar.
Well, that's 3 really big chances from headers in the last 6 minutes or so. 2 for Rangers with Dessers and Proper, and also at the other end Dwight Gale missing a really good chance, and you could go and offer your services as a masterclass, Tomo. Got a bit of money in that, no doubt.
Yep.
But none of those chances taken, so it remains with 3 minutes to play. Rangers 1, Hibernian 0. Pateta has it, crossing the halfway line now, just plays it infield for Mariah Welsh, gets it back once more, right hand side, and now it's Miller on the touchline, just flicks it forwards. It's well defended by Proper, then there's a tangle of legs, but nothing more than that, and Rangers, Barron battling well there, and then Sterling plays it forward looking for Dessers, but Pateta has got a good turn of pace and gets there ahead of him, and then just plays it down the line, comes off Miller, who then brings it under control right on the touchline midway inside his own half. Bayrami looking to just close him down, and then knocked out of play over on the far side by Jefty. A couple of minutes left to play. Rangers 1, Hibernian 0. Really intriguing game here at Ibrox this afternoon. Enthralling throughout because despite Rangers having taken the lead, they have never quite looked comfortable with that slender advantage as Casanviro picks up under pressure from Yuan. I have to say I've been impressed with him in the time I've seen him in a Rangers jersey thus far, as Sterling plays it infield for Barron into Casanviro, gets it back from Dowell, now he's in an advanced area. Casanviro up against O'Hara here at the edge of the box, tries to take him on, gets the break of the ball, then he throws himself to the ground and Nick Walsh waves him up, and now he'll have to get back in because Hibs are coming forward through McCurdy. Philippe Clement complaining there, but I don't think it was a free kick or a foul there, as Tavernier wins possession from McCurdy near side, and Casanviro now finds Dowell. Dowell just inside the Hibs half, tries to go down the right. He's not got a lot of support here. He does well and turns it back in field for Sterling. Sterling advancing. Again, he's not got a great deal of support. Almost as if he's heading out towards the corner flag. Keeping the ball, running down the clock. He is at the corner flag now. A couple of Hibs bodies round about him. Tries to get round him, and he's done really well because he's won inside a free kick right on the goal line. And Rangers in the final minute of the 90, right up where they want Hibs, up in the making Hibs defend here, and Rangers have a free kick right on the goal line.
He did do really well. They had absolutely nowhere to go. It was boxed in the rails with two players round him. He managed to kind of swivel along the byline and win a free kick. Rangers just taking their time over it. It's not often you see Rangers wasting time in a league match at the end of the game.
Yeah, but they kind of feel they have to, as fourth official Graham Granger just prepares to show the boards as we tick down towards the 90-minute mark. It's Tavernier with a free kick, almost like a corner from the right-hand side. Up goes Proper again, on into the roof of the net. This time that one was closer and a more difficult one to execute, but is over the top, and it will be a Hibs goal kick, and it will remain Rangers 1, Hibs 0 as we enter 4 minutes of stoppage time. Can Hibs get the equaliser? They were denied that in first half stoppage time as Jack Butland saved the penalty from Kuharevich. Can they manufacture an opportunity second half? Here's Jefty though, coming forward for Rangers. He's done brilliantly as a Brazilian, and he finds Dowell. Dowell out to the left hand side. Give the appreciation there for Bayrami from the stands as Dowell goes back to Bayrami, left hand side into Jefty once more. You play out to Barron, back the way, and now picked up on the left hand side by Bayrami once more into Jefty, midway inside the Hibs half, plays it square for Sterling. Rangers just content to keep possession, not too bothered about threatening the Hibs penalty area just for the moment. It's Dowell for Bayrami, left hand side, up against Miller, about 15 yards from the flag. Still Bayrami, tries the little reverse ball. Tavernier's trying to lay it off for Dowell, who's in a different wavelength, and it's behind for a goal kick to Hibernian. We've played a minute of the 4, still Rangers 1, Hibs 0.
Hibs just need to get the ball forward now. No point in trying to build it, try and turn Rangers.
Shooter in the way of the ball forward from Obita, out for a throw into Hibernian. Dwight Gale just told it'll have to be taken a little bit further back, and Obita will take over throw-in duties into the feet of Eli Yuan. Moves away from Barron, then plays it to Mariah Welsh, out to the left-hand side for Gale. Back to Obita. Can Hibs manufacture something here? It's Mariah Welsh, about 40 yards from goal, towards the back post. Miller nods it down. Here's a chance for Cadden, blocked by Proper, and out for a throw-in over on the far side. Again, it looked like it might just open up, but Rangers, to their credit, have put bodies on the line when required and have kept the clean sheet so far with 2 minutes to play.
That was their best chance in a while. A lovely switched ball. Miller does well, nods it down to Cadden. It just wouldn't sit down for him. Maybe it could have hit it first time. Pops up, and then it hits the shot. Well blocked, right enough, foul. But yeah, nervy moments these for Rangers.
Under 2 minutes of injury time left to play. Rangers 1, Hibs 0, as the Hibs team all camp in the Rangers penalty area or thereabouts, as the long throw-in comes from Lewis Miller, headed away by Jefty. Not entirely clear, but Bayrami helps it on. Here's Levitt out to the right-hand side for Miller, about 25 yards from the corner flag, right-hand side. Bayrami just puts his body in between him and the ball and does well to win possession back, but he's knocked it out of play under significant pressure from Miller, and you imagine this is going to be another long throw-in. Mariah Welsh, the only outfield Hibs player back anywhere near the halfway line. Everyone else is in that Rangers box as Miller prepares to throw it in. A minute 15 to play as Nick Walsh just halts proceedings and asks Robin Proper and Marvin Ekpiteta to come to him for a little word here before the throw-in comes in. The tension really is palpable around Ibrox Stadium as Rangers look to cling on for the 3 points that would take them to within 5 of Celtic and Aberdeen at the top of the table. But here's Hibernian looking for an equaliser. Miller's long throw in comes to the near post. Who did that come off? It's going to be a Hibs corner in the final minute. Maybe just be a little bit further added on after that delay, as Nick Walsh spoke to Proper and Ekpiteta. But anyway, it's certainly going to be time for this corner. Right hand side. as McCurdy goes across to take it. It's going to be another 30 seconds beyond the 4 minutes, so we've got about a minute left to play. This is pretty much last chance for Hibernian. McCurdy's left it. It's going to be Levitt right hand side. Can Hibernian somehow find a dramatic equaliser? And it comes. Up goes Suter to win it. Brilliant header from him. Yuan picks up, turns away from Casanviro. Out to the right hand side once more for Levitt. Needs to get it back into the box as Hibs look for a leveller late in the game. It's Miller, leaves it for Levitt again. Back into the Rangers penalty area. Up goes O'Hara, he can't force it goalwards. And it looks like it's just going to be a goal kick. Nick Walsh being surrounded by Hibs players. I'm not sure what they're claiming for.
I think it was a foul.
It's a yellow. A yellow card for
O'Hara for climbing.
Yeah, it's a yellow card for dissent, certainly. Yeah. There is a check ongoing, but I didn't see anything untoward, I have to say. I think it's more in hope than anything else. The Hibs players were complaining there, or claiming. It looks like it will just be a Rangers goal kick, and if that's the case, then that will surely be that, as we have played almost 5 minutes of stoppage time. Another nervy final few minutes for Rangers. Check is cleared, and that means Nick Walsh will bring the game to an end, and Rangers do have the narrow victory. But my goodness, how hard fought was that? And Hibernian forced them to battle all the way, but Rangers, with a 4th consecutive clean sheet, do take the 3 points thanks to Tom Lawrence's goal. Worthy of winning any game, you would have to say, but only because Jack Butland was able to save Mikola Kuharevic's first half stoppage time penalty away down to his right, after Lawrence had curled in a beautiful opening goal. Second half, Hibs were excellent, albeit without really testing Jack Butland too often. Lawrence perhaps should have put the game beyond Hibernian, but it was an easy save for Bursic, and then Cyril Dessers as well. He passed up a real golden opportunity, albeit it was a top save from Bursic to keep out the header, which is more or less on the goal line. Gale passed up Hibs' best chance of the second period, coming off the bench for his debut, but heading wide from 10 yards. And then Proper also could have put it to bed, but he too, from a really good position, headed over the top. So it was nervy for Rangers towards the end, but they held out and do move back to within 5 points of the league leaders Celtic and Aberdeen. It finishes at Ibrox Stadium. Rangers 1, Hibernian 0.